Mhm.
Oh man. Oh man. Not again.
I'll send you this one. Don't know if this is a full one of it, but it looks like it from the beginning.
Hey yo, Elijah, you seeing drones in your skies, bro, or what?
Nah, that stuff don't happen out here, bro.
Oh shit,
That's
we
some
about to have a
that's
good
some
combo.
that's some city shit, bro. I'm out here in the woods, man. We gonna be seeing shit like that.
That's for the city slickers.
Like we'll probably fuck around and we'll probably see an alien or Sasquatch running around before we see a UFO directly.
Yeah, bro. Like these motherfuckers would just come in a portal, fuck a vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we're such a remote area, they don't even care. They'll come right out in the open.
Hey
Shit's
yo,
funny,
that's
man.
funny.
Let's get started.
Especially my homeboy's got a farm. Like they would love that dude's place.
Damn.
Yo, warning: the conversations in this podcast are performed by the caveman. For your safety and the protection of those around you, please do not attempt to take anything you hear too seriously on the show.
Sir. Booga booga.
Just joke. Just a joke, bro. What's up,
Yes, sir.
everybody? We back
Hello,
in the
everyone.
cave. Welcome back to the Cave Podcast. It's your boy Joe Breezy. I'm here with Mel, and
Nope.
I'm here with Elijah, bringing you another episode of the Cave Podcast. But before we begin, if you're watching this live, make sure you guys check out the comments if you want to join the Cave community. It's a community filled with crazy ass people like you and me 24/7. If you're watching this later, you can find the link to that on our website, cave.com, or you can stay up to date with us on social media at The Cave on all social media platforms. So tonight, like I said, we got Elijah back in the cave. What's going on, brother? Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a minute. I haven't had none of my equipment or anything. But I got these cool ass. Let me go ahead and give them a little free advertisement real quick. I don't mean
Let's
to be all messy. You see this? You see this name? I can't really pronounce it. But this brand of headphones, it's activewear.
I
It's a
used to have a
bandana.
pair of those.
This shit got it has headphones on the inside, so now I'm able to get on the show without the audio sounding too crazy.
Oh, well,
And I haven't really been wanting to get on here because I didn't have the equipment and I left my laptop and stuff at someone else's house due to some technical difficulties out here in this world. So yeah,
It always
now
be
I
like
have
that, bro.
everything. I have everything I need for the time being until I can get better equipment. So I'm back.
Nice.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I think the last time we had you on, the audio was not the best, but yo, bro, you always be dropping bombs every time you're here, and I always joke around, bro. Like I feel like this fool just channels something, dude. You just go on for fucking hours and hours, bro. Sometimes like I get in your way when you're trying to like spit gospel. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
So
you're fine, man.
dope shit, man. Well, like I said, something that's relevant right now, and it's funny because every time we kind of wrap up the year on the podcast, one of the talking points in our meetings is usually like, hey, let's kind of stray off the conspiracy theories because we've been going so deep into them, and let's try to talk about other shit. You know what I mean? And that was what we talked about last year. So just to recap, last year in January, a bunch of Jews came out the tunnels, right? That shit was forgotten. That's a huge story. They kind of just cemented that hole and just forgot about it, right? And then the Miami aliens thing, was a huge topic too. So it was kind of hard not to cover that on the podcast when that shit was a current event. But we're back again with crazy drones in New Jersey. We have Mel from New Jersey, man. How are the skies over there? Is that shit fake and gay or is that shit real?
Nah, that shit's real as fuck, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna cap. Like, so first of all, the first time, okay, so I don't know if you guys have Ring cameras, right?
Okay.
But there's neighborhood like notifications that come up. So I'm at work and I noticed I had like over 100 notifications on my Ring camera. So I'm looking, and people are like, drones this, drones that, drones this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? And ever since then, for like this past week, like faithfully, when the lights, when it starts, nighttime hits, I get notifications all the time now. Drones, 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 right? So I come to my girl's house. I was like, you know what? Let me just look up in the sky, dude. They're up in the fucking sky, bro. They're literally
Damn.
up there. You can see the lights blinking and shit. They're going fast as hell in the fucking sky. So I told my guy, I said, look, you can fucking see them. Oh, that's a plane. I said, no, bitch, that's a plane right there.
Mm.
Okay. And I specifically showed you can tell the difference from a plane because the plane has a steady light, one steady light, and then blinking lights on the side. No, this is
Yep,
a
yep.
these are just blinking lights, just going in the sky, bro, like just everywhere. And it's fucking crazy how it's literally just everywhere. And you can see
Is it
people
true that they're
commenting.
SUV sized?
I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
I
what I
how
read
heard.
big they are.
something. I read something and they were talking about SUV sized drones out that way. That's crazy.
So I
I've
don't
heard
know
that
how
too.
big they are, but the ones that I've seen up here near where we at, Winslow Township, they're far enough, but close enough to where you can tell it's definitely a drone like flying by, flashing. And
Mhm.
what was it? Last night there was a whole bunch of like explosion sounds. Like I don't know what the fuck it was, bro. Like it literally sound like explosions in the sky. Like it's fucking crazy. And again, you can see mad people commenting on the little notification thing in the ring on the ring
Hmm.
app. Like, bro, it's really, really sick. Like, I don't know what the hell it's about. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the Russians. I don't know if it's our government. I don't know if it's
Right.
because Trump is president now. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, bro. It might be alien. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's fucking
I
weird.
was just
Like,
talking to one of my friends because he also lives in New Jersey. I just don't know what part of the Jersey he live in. But he was saying something about it having to do something with Iran or something like that. Like as far as the border being reopened and other things of that nature. What do you guys think
there,
about that?
I briefly heard something about that. I didn't look too deep into that, but that fell lower on the timeline, you know what I mean, as more of these drone footages came out. But I feel like that was a
Hmm.
vital puzzle piece to what's going on right now, you know?
yeah, I think it probably is a combination of, you know, that and some type of stuff getting ready for Project Bluebeam because I don't know if you guys seen what was it back in
Yeah, that
November?
Project Bluebeam shit is
Right.
on the way. On the way,
Lil
excuse
Uzi
me.
Vert,
Yeah, you
he
showed me that.
had he had drone was it drones or was it like a 3D image or something like that of a UFO going over New York City. It was like 100% real and people thought it was a real UFO. Like because I don't know if you know, but people they really do like light shows with these drones to the point where it looks like a
Yeah, they
real
got this dome.
butterfly in the
What
sky or
city has
Yeah,
something,
that
yeah.
right?
dome in it?
Yeah, so they'll really do like light shows in the sky with drones. And that was similar to what Lil Uzi Vert did like a month or two ago with this UFO, where people really thought there was a real UFO in the sky, bro. So they could be
That's
prepping
crazy.
for that or something. You know what I mean? That's what I think. They're prepping for the Project Bluebeam type
That
shit.
would
Because
make
why else
sense.
would you
Like they
need all of that?
graphing the sky. That could make
Yeah.
sense.
And then all of the explosion sound, maybe they're prepping the sky for some. I don't know, dude. Like it's fucking weird. It's just weird as hell.
So it's pretty
That
interesting.
is interesting.
Like
Yup. There it is. Yep.
the terminology of drones getting like thrown into the lake of UFOs and aliens, I feel like is pretty white belt type of thinking. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like if they have wings, then they're obviously either a spy bot or something like this, where it's Project Bluebeam kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether they're mapping out something from an aerial vantage point or it's to cause mass hysteria, which I heard was being reported now, um, as to what's going on in New Jersey. But look at this shit, bro. Like,
Yeah. Like
Did y'all
it's
see the
fucking wild.
dragon on the where was the town that had that dragon around the building?
is
I
it? Are
think
you
it was
talking about
New
this one right
York.
here?
Nah, not
Uh,
that one.
That's still crazy.
It was like a
Yeah,
real
bro.
lifelike,
That's still fucking wild.
dragon.
Like
Oh,
what?
on the top of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Like
yeah.
what? And
What's the
that's
city?
only 1,500 drones.
What's
Imagine what a million
the
drones.
city in a What's the city with the dome in it? Y'all know which dome I'm talking
You
about?
talking about Vegas?
Vegas?
Is it
Vegas,
Vegas? They
yeah.
got the
If you
yeah.
it, like you go inside it like and it has that exactly what he's saying like but it looks even more real like
Is
Oh
it
yeah.
Vegas
crazy
or is
like
it
they can put a whole sky on top of you. It looks like you're really outside.
is it Vegas
I
or
think it is
yeah? Because
Vegas. I just don't
yeah,
know like why
because
they got that
I
dome
went
in it like
there.
it shows different faces and shit.
Yeah, I went there
That's dope.
before it was like big and online and shit. Yep, there it is. And
Dog, like, look at this shit.
we were in a
And that's
building on
just
a
a
Ferris
screen.
wheel. Yeah,
That's just the
and
screen. Like
it
that's not
looks
actually happening.
fucking
It's just a screen.
real, bro. Like,
That
but we like a lot of people don't know they have this shit already in China where the billboards will really like jump out at you on some 3D shit. Like,
Yeah, I seen that. What the fuck?
yeah, bro, what? Like, come on, dude. Like, you can't tell me they're not getting ready to show us some shit, like some fake shit with all of this stuff going on, bro.
Hmm.
Like,
And
come
we're so
on
used to
now.
seeing it like we're not even gonna really bat an eye to it.
It's good.
Well,
They're trying
I
to
know you guys
normalize it, of course.
I know you guys see on social media, it's pretty funny when these kids show their grandparents the Grand Theft Auto highlights and they're like, look, this is happening in the news right now. And the
Yeah, I
parents
see
are like
that.
tripping out, like, oh no, these cars are flying and people are getting ran over, you
Oh
know?
my god.
I
But
see one of those. Yeah,
that type of shit can happen. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Old people are pretty gullible, and it's not because they're
They're
dumb. It's
dumb.
because
Yeah,
they're not keeping up to date with how fast technology is advancing. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
And for them,
absolutely.
like we can, there are a lot of illnesses to cure. What the fuck are we working on projection aerially for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it doesn't make
I
sense
say
as
it
to
all the
why they would
time, bro.
approach that
It's
path.
like humans are not advancing. Technology is advancing. That's why I hate when people be like, "Oh yeah, we're the most advanced. This is and that." No, the fuck, we're not, dude. Humans are not advancing. If you ask an average
Yep,
person a
not at all.
regular ass question, even some of these college students are dumb as shit. They're dumb as fuck, bro.
Hmm.
But technology, I think it advances 10 years for every 18 months. That's fast as fuck. Within the next 10 years, we're out of there, bro. Like there's nothing that
Yep.
we can do to catch up. There's nothing we can
We're
do to
gonna
catch
be
up.
completely consumed by that shit.
We're gonna be obsolete as humans, bro. Like,
Hmm.
Shout out Jack. This
No,
is the video of the dragon on top of the Empire State Building,
yeah, that shit was crazy, man.
bro.
what is that? Is that a blimp or something?
I think it's
I think
it's
it
like
is a
an
balloon, yeah.
inflatable
Like one of those
type.
inflatable things?
Yeah, like one of them
What the heck?
car dealership inflatable shit, but in a
They
dragon
said
form.
that it was. They said it was to promote the new Game of Thrones shit that came out.
Yeah, their downfall will be symbolism, man, as they
Yeah,
say. But yeah, this is definitely some Project Bluebeam stuff. Shout out to
yeah,
Jack in the comments because he came to me earlier, I think like a month or two ago, and he's like, bro, they're gonna roll out Project Bluebeam full on like around
yeah.
December. And I haven't been keeping track of anything, but I heard about this quote unquote
People
alien
already paying what they
invasion,
risk now.
right? And
Yeah,
People,
I just saw this commercial of Will Ferrell kind of promoting how convenient it is to pay with your wrist to where he wants to always pay with his wrist type shit. You know what I mean?
not Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
yeah. Will Ferrell was he's definitely bought, bro. Like, I like
Damn,
him,
Will.
but he's definitely bought by the system, bro.
That's fucked. Will's
It's
cool.
yeah.
But
But
the
yeah,
crazy thing about the drone stuff and the alien stuff and Project Bluebeam stuff is I feel like to us, to speak for all of us in this panel right now, I feel like we're aware of Project Bluebeam and we've been aware of Project Bluebeam. And I think we're at the point where we think that these aliens could be interdimensional alien, like demons, possibly. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Hmm.
But it's funny because a lot of these people that are hearing about these drones think it's aliens, think it's the Greys. There's so many layers to aliens and UFOs to get to actually the truth of what's going on. You know what I mean? Because information's been scattered and there's a lot of misinformation out there. I feel like it's a clip farming and misinformation age that we're in right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think
so. It's crazy.
There's a couple of things I heard about the Project Blue Beam. So the first thing I heard was their whole religious thing, that they're going to try to fake the second coming of Jesus. And what they're going to do is try to make everyone follow a one world religion. So it's going to be like, oh, I'm Jesus. I'm here now. This is the rules to everything. Everybody should live this way. Boom, just one religion. Then the second one was they're going to stage an alien invasion so that way people will have a common enemy and, you know, obviously give their power over to the government so that way people will eventually, you know, again, have a one way of thinking, a one world religion way of thinking. Because if I think there was a couple presidents that said it like, oh, if we all had a common enemy, maybe we would come together. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably look that up too. There's a thread where it's a bunch of presidents saying it. If we all had a common enemy, maybe we could come together. Maybe UFOs would be one of those things that would make America come together. So it's between one of those two things. Either the second coming of Jesus they're going to fake, or they're going to fake aliens coming and then try to roll out this whole one world, new world order type shit.
Yeah, man. And like we've been talking about, what's cool about this episode is Mel and Elijah are actually ones that I always talk to on the phone. We go back and forth in the mornings, fucking leaving each other long ass voice notes about philosophical and deep spiritual.
Hell yeah.
To where I have to go to the corner sometimes so I don't sound crazy type of shit where I'm recording this shit. But yeah, that's what I think it is. And I honestly think it's so okay. So if they're making movies to indoctrinate us and they're going as far as making religions to indoctrinate us, you got to think that they're covering all bases and they're planting evidence also, you know what I mean? So the science community can discover it and then you got the stamp from the science community and the historians as well, you know what I mean? So we're all kind of just, it's like WWE, we're all selling the show, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. As long as the fans are either charged negatively or charged positively, they pay up in currency, whether it's energy or money, you know what I'm saying? Or attention. So, and it's I think we talked about on the last episode about how what's called the Book of Enoch and the Dead Sea Scrolls could possibly be fabricated, right? Or somehow manipulated. So, dude, these people are smart, bro. That's all I got.
They're smart. And if you think about it, they had a long time to do this. Like,
And as far as America goes, like the history that's taught in history books is a very young history. You know what I mean? It doesn't really go back that deep, that far to explain the land.
The actual history of America has been cast away as mythology.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of it really people don't even believe anymore, or it's parts of history that they deem important, you know what I mean? But other parts are just like, oh no, they don't need to teach that. We don't need to learn that. Like,
I feel like other countries too, they have like deep mythologies on why there's a Grand Canyon, whether it's like a god fought and he fell there and that's why it's shaped that way. And our explanation is erosion. You know what I'm saying?
A big ass glacier just moved through this place randomly.
It happened in years. It's like
I was watching a video that actually said that, where a guy, he was explaining the Greek gods and he was explaining them as a myth to someone, and the guy straight up told him, he was like, you're explaining this as a myth. He's like, in our culture, these are real stories. You know what I mean? So people actually do believe the Greek, the Roman gods and stuff like that actually lived and, did the things that they did, so you're 100% right. Like, they don't think it's myth like we think it is. They think it actually like real life happened.
And it's kind of in the gray area where, like, let's say, for example, the Chinese people think that this huge river is a dragon, right? And if you zoom out, it kind of does look like a dragon. You know what I mean? To where it's like, maybe that shit is real. So
that's interesting.
I feel like there's whether I heard this thing, if the psyop is good enough, it's fine. You know what I mean? As long as it provides the placebo effect you need to get whatever you need to get done, then it doesn't matter if it's a psyop or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's what's going on. And I think, obviously, going back to these drone shits, I think it's a psyop. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's weird that drones are now being thrown into UFOs and UAPs. And I feel like we've kind of downgraded from UAPs being our spiritual interdimensional vehicle to now a drone. You know what I'm saying? Like we're back to human technology. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're trying to conflate everything all at once. Yeah. Makes sense. But like kind of back to what you were saying about like everybody selling everybody has a part in selling the story. It kind of makes sense as to why now we had exposure. You know what I mean? Oh, everybody's now all of a sudden they're going against the government and telling, oh yeah, well, we did have these, we did have that, we did have this all this time. Well, it's going to go with the story. That way everybody can believe what's going on. And then now when stuff actually happens, they're like, oh, well, yeah, the guy on the government said it's still the fucking government. Like,
that's exactly how the elite escapes their karma. They escape their karma by telling you exactly what they're going to do, and then allowing you to speculate and agree on it. That's how they've been able to remain in power for all these thousands of years or reincarnations or however you want to call it. Like the whole time that they've been in charge of this whole operation that we call existence. That's how they escape. Is by telling us what they're going to do. And then we buy it, we pay for it, we ask for it, and we're just fine with it.
Absolutely. That's the number one rule is you have to tell the person you're manipulating that you're manipulating them. That's the number one rule.
I'm gonna call it a spell, bro. Like even gaslighting. You know what I mean? You're turning the act that I did that's hurtful or offensive into an offensive, hurtful act of yours for receiving it that way, type shit. You know what I mean? And if enough people believe it, then it's turned. You know what I mean? Then I don't look like the bad guy anymore. You look like the bad guy, type shit. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not necessarily that. It's more or less like, okay, if I show you this and you keep watching it, am I wrong? Because you're laughing, you're agreeing, you keep tuning in. So am I really wrong? Because I told you the truth. You know what I mean? That's another that's one of the Luciferian rules is like I was going to say I don't do that anymore, but they believe that as long as I tell you what I'm going to do to you, I'm at no fault. Just like Isaiah was saying, I have relieved myself from my karmic debt because I told you the truth. It's up to you whether or not you want to keep on buying it. Like just like fucking food has all of the ingredients on it that tells you exactly what the fuck's in it. It tells you exactly what the fuck's in it, but it's not my fault you keep buying it. You know what's in it. Would you buy an apple that said poison apple? Or would you buy an apple that didn't have poison in it? Or, I mean, that did have poison in it, but I didn't tell you. You'd probably buy the apple that did have poison in it, but I didn't tell you. And then I would be responsible. But if it said poison apple, and you still ate it, I'm not responsible. I've relieved from my karmic debt.
Facts.
Yeah. If Sydney Sweeney told me to eat that apple, I'd probably take a bite though. just being real, you feel me? But that's also, you know what I mean? What they do, like as funny as that example is, they do sell poison and have these actresses and these influencers sell you it. When you're going down that rabbit hole and explaining it, it kind of seems like consent. Like I'm providing the contract, and these are the rules of engagement, and now we're gonna play by these rules.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is because that's
exactly what it is. Yes,
that they move by. It's literally consent. I have to get you to agree with this. And it's not agreeing like, oh, yes, that's good out of your verbal mouth. It's you keep on turning the TV on to watch it. It's you keep buying it. It's you keep listening to it. It's you keep laughing at the same jokes. Your participation is the consent that they need. People don't understand that. That's literally the rule that they operate in, bro. It's a Luciferian rule. It literally is that as long as I tell you it, you have given me your consent that I can keep doing it to you. Like people don't realize that. And then they're like,
Yep.
"Oh, why do they keep selling us drugs? Because you keep buying them.
Mm-hmm.
You keep buying them. That's why. Why do they keep fucking up the environment? Because you keep buying things that keep fucking up the environment. You're agreeing to it. Your consent is
Yep.
you buying it.
Fuck, bro. That's why I don't know. It's hard to really boycott. I feel like boycotting really is the answer, but I feel like there's a peer pressure against boycotting. It's weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's say
it's kind
you
of
find
a-
out. Let's say you find out some dirt about Cave, and you start to boycott Cave. You know what I mean? Like, if Cave is as big as, I don't know, Nike, then it'd be like, dude, I've been rocking with Nike or Cave for a while, man. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
literally. But then you can't be mad that
They boycotted JoJo Siwa, bro. That shit was funny as hell.
they did. Really?
They did they did it just to fuck with her. Like they just some people random people just decided to just stop liking her shit and just like stop doing shit. Cause this one girl posted some some trend where she's like, "What if we just started ignoring celebrities?" And then everybody just agreed to just start with JoJo
Oh,
Siwa.
shit.
So they just stopped like engaging with her shit, and she started freaking the fuck out, bro. It was crazy, bro.
that's
It was crazy as
powerful,
fuck.
bro.
Pick this random bitch to start ignoring her. Like it's funny as hell.
It's weird. That
It
is
shows you. It
powerful,
shows
though.
you how much power the little people
Absolutely.
actually have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we think like we idolize the people. We idolize the people that entertain us, but truly we're the ones that give them the power.
Yeah. It's your attention. It's your
Without
attention
us, they
that
have
buys
nothing.
everything.
We're paying them.
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
manifesting their reality. We're aiding them in manifesting their reality by agreeing to their desires, by singing their songs
Yep.
and things of that nature. This goes
Yep.
back to that abracadabra shit. They're singing these songs and they're casting these spells by singing these songs. They're manifesting their desires, and then you're singing the songs. So now you are tuned into their energy. You're taking in their energy. And 9 times out of 10, when you're singing the song, you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about
Mm-hmm.
this person. So when the
Mm-hmm.
person's singing about, I got a lot of money, I'm fucking a lot of bitches, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I want this out of life, I want that out of life. You're giving them like you're giving them your energy, you're giving them your life force, you're wasting your time, you're singing their songs in the same way, in the same manner that the monks and other people of that nature in their own respective realms, shamans, babalawos, other people like that, when they do their chanting and they do their mantras and they do their stuff, all those people collectively come together and they put that energy together to manifest harmony on earth or harmony within the village. In that same manner, when we come together and we sing about bitches shaking their ass and this, that, and the third, we partake in the manifestation of lust, fear, violence, and
Mm-hmm.
all these other things that we suffer from out here in America and other places like America.
Yep.
Man, it's almost like collective consciousness can be formed and, you know what I mean, changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
obviously, it's not working for us when when we're collectively under the spell, right? And we're not really
Mm-hmm.
focused on our personal dream. I always like to call it, you know what I mean? We get sold the community dream or the team dream, you know what I mean? That
Mm-hmm.
we kind of sacrifice our vision, you know what I mean? And our reality. So it's weird. Music is one. And then after you stop listening to music, you watch a movie and then, or you read a book or in your social media. So it's kind of funny because I had a conversation about church. I grew up in the church, and it's weird because some of those messages don't hit as hard if the worship team wasn't on point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Right.
the songs like set you up to be an empty vessel for the indoctrinations to occur, or just, you know what I mean, to be a rich soil for the seed to plant its roots in. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
when you take into consideration that there's one party of people that are in control of music, in control of religion, in control of media, in control of books, you know what I mean? Then it's like, It's their matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's their egregore. They created it. We're kind of just feeding it type shit. It goes back to that conversation we had about egregores and intent in the last episode we did.
Right. Even in the churches, there is like preachers get taught how to teach the way that they teach. They get taught to set up the sermons the way that they set them up because of that. Because if you set it up all wonky and shit, people are just going to be like, well, this doesn't make sense to me. But if you set it up by bringing them in with music first, starting off with a powerful way of thinking, of talking, they teach you how to talk. And then you end it with the and then with some music at the end.
That shit.
Exactly. You see how every single one of them teach that way because they're taught to teach that way. You know what I mean? Because if you don't bring in the amount of people that they need you to bring in. So yeah, it's like you're like Elijah said, you're creating that same energy so that way people can feed off of it. And when they feed off of it, they're actually feeding you and bringing more energy to the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Well, just to close off on the drone stuff, and we got into religion. I just wanted to pull this video up. Did you guys hear about the Pope wanting to open
opening portals?
Yeah, bro. What the
fuck? Nah, let me see.
Here, I think I
Please
pulled up.
show this man. This shit is crazy. This man is tripping.
Is there anything weird or demonic going on? Why are people freaking out about this article? And is there a tomb of Lucifer under the Vatican? Let's get into it. So at first glance, these articles can be quite ominous. You know, he's opening up 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve. What the heck is going on? Let's start by noticing that this is actually done every 25 years. This is a tradition or a ritual, as I would like to say, that is done frequently and has been done throughout the years. The reason that people are saying that it has never been done before is Pope Francis has added a door to the list. So this is the first time that 5 holy doors have been opened. In the past, it's only...
Pause. Can that be a metaphor for seals being broken?
I was going to say something of that nature.
Right?
I believe.
Oh, man.
So, man.
Now, I personally don't believe that each door is a portal itself. I think that the writers of these articles are just using that word kind of as clickbait because the Latin porta, where we get portal, and it can also mean door. Now, that being said, I do think that there is a demonic aspect to this ritual. Now, there are a lot of reasons why I personally don't trust the Catholic Church, and I'll eventually do a more in-depth video on that subject. But bottom line is I do believe personally that a lot of their traditions are demonic. I believe that they are rituals, and I also believe that they have a very large role in these end times. Now, because of that, I started to dig, and I started to ask myself, well, why are they opening these doors? It's more than just a tradition. There is a reason behind it. And if you know the history of the Catholic Church, there is a lot of pagan demonic aspects to these rituals or traditions. One of the first reasons for opening these doors that I found...
Oh no, they heard us.
Oh fuck.
They heard us. Well, shit, I'll pull up the article, bro.
Yeah, I want to hear what the fuck.
I did hear a lot of stuff.
Is that it's...
Oh shit. Here we go.
Wait.
Pope Vatican to open spiritual portals, holy doors in ritual starting Christmas Eve. I think last year we talked about how Santa and Satan are pretty interchangeable as far as words or spells, you know what I mean? And Santa kind of took the attention away from Jesus, which is what Satan does.
Did you see that movie that's coming out with Jack Black?
No, which one is it?
It's called Dear Santa. But the kid can't spell, so he writes a letter to Satan instead. And Jack Black shows up as Satan. Look it up. It just came out, I think. Damn, it's coming out soon.
Come on, man. First Will Ferrell, now Jack Black.
Nah, bro. Jack Black already told you he's a Satanist, bro. He's been told us that. Oh, he sold his soul. He's been said that shit.
Jack Black plays Satan in 2024 Christmas movie, Dear Santa.
There it is. Dear Santa.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of satanic. symbolisms in Christmas. Even Satan's little helper, Santa's little helper, you know?
What was I gonna say
And
about the poodle shit? Oh my God, that just blew me. Damn. We'll
let's
come
go
back
back
to
to
it.
that. I think I got it
Yeah.
here. Here we go.
That's wow.
Anything. And I do think that there is a demonic aspect to
Here we
this
go.
ritual. Now, there are a lot of reasons why I personally don't trust the Catholic Church, and I'll eventually do a more in-depth video on that subject. But bottom line is, I do believe personally that a lot of their traditions are demonic. I believe that they are rituals, and I also believe that they have a very large role in these end times. Now, because of that, I started to dig and I started to ask myself, well, why are they opening these doors? It's more than just a tradition. There is a reason behind it. And if you know the history of the Catholic Church, there is a lot of pagan demonic aspects to these rituals or traditions. One of the first reasons for opening these doors that I found is that it symbolizes the doorway to salvation. If you are a spirit-filled, Bible-believing, born-again Christian, you know that this is wrong because salvation comes through Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone.
Damn.
This is what the enemy does. He puts symbols and rituals and things that we must do to symbolize salvation, to symbolize what Jesus did, instead of having people go directly to Jesus. So again, Satan comes in and establishes religion to have people do all of these things that represent salvation instead of just going to Jesus himself.
Mhm.
Another example would be praying to Mary and the saints. God's word tells us directly that we are to have no mediator to God other than Jesus Christ. And so praying to Mary, praying to the saints goes
It actually doesn't
directly
even say that,
against God's
but
word. And I know some of
I
you out there
digress.
will say, well, we don't pray to Mary, we use Mary, you know.
Yeah, that's an 8-minute video, so we'll stop it there.
But
But
yeah, that's fine.
man, I mean, hold up. Before we continue, wasn't there a red calf ritual that happened this year too?
It's
Yes.
happened. I
They
think
slayed
they
a
The red heifer shit, right? It was
did they
this
find
year?
the last
I think
one?
they had to kill like 13 of them.
What the fuck, dog?
Something like that.
We're at a potent year, I feel like, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I don't look into gematria, but I bet
2025,
gematria's
bro.
checking out.
2025. I've watched a couple of videos of some people who they monitor the world through astrology and things like that. And astrologically, 2025 is about to be one wild ass year, dog.
Yeah, I've been
Like a
saying
lot of
that for
crazy
like
shit's been
3
going
years
down.
already, though.
Damn, like
A lot of
like
revelation is gonna be happening.
crazy good, crazy bad, or just chaotic overall.
Nah, crazy
It's
bad.
gonna
bro.
be crazy bad, bro.
Like I've been
It's not
saying it
gonna
for
be
like
good
3
at all
years
for
now.
anybody.
2025 is probably going to be the hardest year anybody has ever seen financially, spiritually, especially spiritually. But then it's going to be a lot of stuff that like I think this is the median year where the New World Order is starting to come into fruition. You know what I mean? The 2025 year.
Mm,
Like
Because
they're
I
slowly
think
coming out the closet this year type shit.
like yeah, 2025, you know how like kind of like how can I explain it? Like it's like the only way I can explain it is like you're fucking, and then that moment right before you come, and then you come, that's the 2025. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that's the best way I can explain it, bro. 2025 is like that middle moment, like right before you bust, and it feels it's like the the pinnacle of everything. Like that's where 2025 is, bro. That's the best way I can explain it because everything is just gonna fold in on itself. Like the money system, the way people think, the religions for real, uh, everything, bro. Like a lot of stuff is gonna fold in on itself for real. Um, but damn, I still can't remember what I was gonna say about those doors. Oh, so every 25 years this happens, right?
Apparently.
And have they so see, she didn't really say that. I was gonna say, do they open up a new door every 25 years, or have they just been opening up 4 doors? You know what I mean? And now they're
Yeah,
finally
so
opening up a fifth.
from what the video said, it sounded like they open up doors every 25 years, but what makes this different is he's opening up a new door.
hmm
So this is probably the first time they opened up a new door. They probably always opened up 4 doors.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's what they said. But the interesting thing is, I think Vatican means like something about a hill or like underground something, right? Like Lord of the Underground or type shit. So these doors and these portal type
Never
shit,
heard
like
that. That's interesting.
I feel like it's kind of related to CERN for some. I don't know if I'm crazy to put that together and string the two, but I feel like there's always
I feel like
always inner Earth portal.
I can see where you're going with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can
Like
see where you're going with
there's always something when you go down, you know, inner Earth wise, whether it's like a bank, you know, you get into a safe where they store the gold, or you get into a safe haven that's sustainable through any catastrophic event, or there's a fucking portal that goes, I don't know where, dude. You know what I'm saying?
that.
So
I just sent it to you. Check that out. That's what it means.
all right, where do you send it?
To your phone.
Okay, let me check it out.
I like that Google has like the AI now where it tells you exactly what you're looking for now. Like it's kind of scary though, but it pops right up when you ask it. But
I'll put up.
yeah, bro, it's kind of weird though. Like all of this shit is kind of like really spiritual, biblical, like, and just very oddly aligns with a lot of stuff, like all the time.
So how I string this with Project Bluebeam, let's kind of go back to Project Bluebeam and these drones is, I feel like, why would they be so hesitant to disclose information about UFOs, right? I feel like we're ready as a society to know that we're not the only ones here, right?
Right.
I think we're ready as a society to know that, hey, some of our technology was back engineered from, you know what I mean?
UFOs.
Yeah, UFOs or alien tech that we have. But
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be crazier to accept the fact that the government's already known these things. These things have existed before, like civilization, and we already have an agreement with them as far as some land is free game for them type shit. You know what I mean? Or every X amount of years, there's a sacrifice that happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does make sense.
That won't be welcomed by the public or society as much as, yeah, there are aliens over there from outer space. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like they can't tell us that. Okay, every 10 years we have to sacrifice X amount of humans. That's why we just had. That's why we just had COVID. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, oh wait, hold on, wait, bro, wait. Like, what's going on? So you mean in 3 years we're gonna? Okay, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fuck my job. Fuck this. Fuck that. Like, yeah. Yeah, it would kind of make everything fucked up.
that link isn't working for me, Mel.
Just look up Vatican in Latin. What does Vatican mean in Latin?
All right. Here we go. Let's pull it up. The word Vatican comes from the Latin phrase Vaticanus Mons, which means Vatican Hill. The Vatican is a city-state in Rome that is center of the Roman Catholic Church that is ruled by the Pope and is also used to refer to the Pope or his officials. The name Vatican has its origins in the Roman Republic when referred to the Ager Vaticanus, a small hill and plain on the west bank of the Tiber River, whichever way. The area was largely uninhabited due to its proximity to the Etruscan city of the Vale and the Tiber, frequent flooding. The name Vatican City was first used in the Lateran Treaty signed in 1929. The city's Latin name is Status Civitatis Vaticanae, which is used in official documents by the Holy See, the Church, and the Pope.
So here's
another one.
Yeah,
it's divining serpent. The word Vatican literally means divining serpent and is derived from vatis, diviner, and can, serpent. Vatican.
I was trying to figure out why it came up. The other one came up first, but yeah, that's what it means. Divine serpent.
Yo,
So
one of the highlights we talked about, bro, and this is how things get lost in translation, because again, now you take this misunderstanding of Vatican being translated in, what is this, Latin and Roman, like that's what's happening in the Bible, bro. You lose, you know what I mean,
you lose the
details that are
actual.
important to make that mental picture to be able to understand these things. And we talked about the Tower of Babel in the last podcast. You brought up a good point. Language kind of limits us. If horse is different in Spanish and in Chinese, if someone drew a horse and saw an image of a horse, every motherfucker knows it's a fucking horse.
Symbols don't change.
Symbols don't change. Mental image, whether it's telepathically communicating these images in your head, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I feel like playing telephone with words, and I feel like that's why words
are trash, bro.
It's sorcery, bro. I feel like it's a McDonald's version of runes in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like you Disney-fied rune magic in a way. You commercialize it a little bit.
Because if I say sin, what do you guys think? You think sin like something bad, or like lust or something like that. But sin in Spanish means something totally fucking different.
Yeah, sin literally, sin in Spanish means just without. Sin,
exactly.
Sin, like sin nada, just without anything.
So it's like, okay, I could kind of understand how people think words have vibration and stuff like that. But especially in English, bro, if I'm talking in English and I say certain things, does it actually mean what I think it means? Especially because English is a created language that just got created, umpteen years ago. So it's like,
I would say that English, speaking English is almost like, it's like natural chaos magic, bro.
It is. It literally is, bro. It's not a real language.
They took sounds and vibrations. They took the most effective and the most dominant sounds and vibrations from all these different languages and created their own language with it.
Yes.
And then every time we speak it, like, it's like the waves are all like this.
Yes, they don't flow properly. They're just like here, there. So
let's use this example. Let's use this example, right? I hit you guys up, my homies. Yo, good morning, with a good tone, but I'm like saying good morning, which is your death. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a curveball spell where you're telling me to die a good death, but you're saying it in a friendly tone. You know what I'm saying?
That's a perfect example.
It's like, bro, fuck you, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Like, have a good morning. Like, what? You're telling me to have a good death, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, but then also the word morning is an English word too as well. So like, where did that come from? So we got to figure out, like, all right, so some of these words even have like prefixes and suffixes, right? So if you look at the word,
true, the prefix in morning and the prefix in actual morning isn't the same,
right?
So when you're saying good morning, you're not saying good like death, because the root word for morning of the beginning of the day and the root word for morning is two totally different things,
right? So ing has its own connotation. So running, being,
right,
doing. So the ing is its own understanding, right? And then be, or because, or become, or be, you know what I mean? It's a cut up word, just like Elijah said. I might be putting a good spiritual part on the first prefix, but the suffix might be all fucked up. You know what I mean? The end of it might be all fucked up because we don't really understand words. Like there was another word where I was just smoking weed and shit like that. You just be thinking of shit. And it was like what the fuck was the word? Damn, I can't think of it. But it's just a lot of words like that where you just start breaking words down and you're just like, well, if that means this, then how come this word starts like that but means something else? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
or two words that look the same and spelled exactly the same but had two entirely different meanings.
Right. Like, or like destruction, devotional. You know what I mean? Meaning. demon. So it's like the D has its own understanding, but then I put a something else at the end of it, and it means something different. So like words are fucking weird, bro. Like if you really think about words like that and just sit down and smoke a fucking bowl, bro, and then you're just like, let me just start saying a couple words. Yeah, dude, and you're just like, hold on, these 4 or 5 words are all start the same, but if I put something at the end of it, it means something totally fucking different. English is a trash fucking language. Like
Not
it
just
really
that,
is.
dog. I also think that I said this on a previous podcast about Greek and how Greek has like freedom in their language in order to kind of make your own words, right?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like English really doesn't, but it gets a pass with slang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, that's bad, dog. You was bad out there, dog. You was killing it. I'm dead. I'm dead right now, dog. I'm dead.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I just can't, dog.
Yeah, you're 100%
Nah,
right.
like it's crazy that you say that because my dad, oh my God, my father, he said something to me when I first met him. When I first met my father, man, like he heard my music and stuff. And me, I'm a very direct communicator. I do not talk in code at all, whatsoever. Like even to the point where I didn't have a phone until I was like 17. My brother-in-law had got one for me when I was living with my sister. But I didn't know what LOL, none of that shit, man. And I was a teenager and shit, but I just didn't know what was going on. I was completely under the rock. Like I didn't know nothing about social media. I didn't know nothing about nothing. But my dad, he likes to use the word stupid, but in a good way. So he'll tell you like, yo, he's listening to my music, and he goes, yo, this shit is stupid, man. And I'm like, what the
why?
what are you talking about? What do you mean my music's stupid, bro?
Like you hate my
This
music,
shit is
bro?
dope. What are you talking about? He's like, nah, this shit hot. This shit hot. I was like, why didn't you just say that? Like that's crazy. That's crazy. English is crazy, man.
It is.
Bro, even yo, that shit's disgusting is a good thing these days, I feel like. You know what I mean?
I've used that word in good ways. That's funny.
Yeah. Words are spells, and I feel like, again, going back to this one, let's talk about intent again, right? I feel like that was a concept that could have had its own Inside the Cave episode, and it probably will. But again, I don't think it's enough. You know what I mean? And why I don't think intent is enough is because in the Bible, if we're going to use Bible as an example, which was brought up in that conversation, God always said he was a jealous God, you know? Jealous gods, like, that means intent matters because they're not understanding to the point where, oh, you know, he meant me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was good enough, bro.
Yeah, bro, exactly. That's why I don't believe that intent shit. Like you have to purposely intend. You know what I mean? You have to purposely do it. Like you can't just be like, well, I'm kind of getting around to it. I'm just beating around the bush a little bit, but he knows what I mean. But no, in the Bible, it literally says, away from me, you workers of iniquity. The word iniquity means someone who takes something and forms it the way that they fucking want to. Like, that's literally what the fuck it means. You know what I mean? Same thing with the word lust. It's you're taking something and it's not necessarily, oh, I want to have sex. No, the word lust derives from, I forget what the fuck the word is, but it means to take something and to reform it into a way that it's not used. So, like, that's what the whole thing of, that's why I don't believe like intent really, really is 100% accurate. Like I do believe, like you could kind of a little bit, but for the most part, no, dude. Just look at the day that they're opening up these portals on fucking Christmas Eve. They're not just doing it on a random ass Sunday, dude. Like they're doing it on Christmas Eve when the solar powers are this fucking strongest, where the moon is here and this is there. Like
We
they
literally
have
talked about that,
purposeful intent. You know what I mean?
Like
Like
if you're doing
it's
something and
on
all
purpose.
the stars align just like they designed it, like does it matter what name you're putting into the spell when the whole fucking
Like,
system is already pointed towards its purpose?
pointed at that. Yes, bro. Like, come on. Like, you can't deny that. You can't, dude. Like, so it kind of beats that all the way down to into submission. Even if you just say, "Away from me, you workers of iniquity." Like that's literally what God said. Like you practicers of iniquity. You know what I mean?
And they also said was it the road to hell was paved with good intentions?
Good intentions.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
all you got to
The
know.
reason that intention and the reason the intentions means nothing is because it, like you were saying, it doesn't matter. It really truly doesn't even matter if you do something when the moon is in this location and the stars over there and the earth is tilted at this axis and the wind's blowing over there. Your intentions don't mean anything at all if what you're trying to do is not supposed to happen.
Well,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how high level of a practitioner you can be. It doesn't matter how many portals you may have opened up. It does not matter. If what you're trying to do is not supposed to happen, you can throw all of your life force there. Nothing is going to go on. Prime example. Let's say, let's say somebody wanted to use magic to do like a love spell on someone. You know what I mean? Or someone wanted to do magic to attract money or to attract a job or however people do magic now in this world.
right.
If you do this spell wrong and you don't do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't matter how much intention you put in it. You can tie the string, you can pour the
Yeah.
honey, you can burn the candle. It doesn't matter how much intention you put into that shit. Nothing's going to fucking happen.
Yep.
Your intentions mean nothing.
Nothing,
Like
bro.
what's supposed to happen is going to happen, and everything has to happen natural. You have to have celestial consent for shit to go down. Because what people don't understand in this world is if there are forces in this world that are higher than you and have more power than you and can do things that you could never even conceive, if they can follow the spiritual laws, what makes you think that you are creating and inventing cheat codes
Yes.
to like ascend faster than this, that, and that doesn't make sense.
Yes, bro.
It's also too
impossible.
like these guys that have created the system of magic, they fucking had generations of, you know what I mean, knowledge given to them, passed down to them, and research and years and years of research to try to even get to the level to where they're making this complex magical system.
Yeah.
For you to think you can hijack it because like God spoke to you and you're Christian and you're a Christian, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you just went on TikTok and looked it up. Like, come on, dude. Like,
I might be weird for saying this, and because I've been diving down into the Dragon Ball Z occult anime shit, it's like you're giving your energy to Goku. It doesn't matter what you want to do with that spirit bomb. Goku's gonna throw it at whoever the fuck Goku wants to throw it at. You know what I'm saying? You could be like, "Yo, hit Frieza in the kneecap real quick." It's like, nah, man. Like whatever happens, happens. Thanks for your energy. It's actually more powerful if you just hold your energy and you don't give it up. Type shit. You know what I mean? Which is kind of funny how that works out, but. Yeah, you're essentially giving it up to Goku, bro. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
That's so fucking true, though, bro. Like, you gotta do stuff with purpose, bro.
That's crazy. It all kind of occultly ties in how, you know, the labels that we're attaching our complex spiritual beliefs are hijacked, and we think that we're in the driver's seat because of intention when really it's a complex system to where they have each loose ends tied. You know what I mean? Like it's a real complex system. And I tell everybody this, like once you start waking up, and I don't even like to say waking up, once you start being aware of these complex systems, it is fucking overwhelming because it's complex systems on complex systems on complex systems on complex systems.
They're smart, bro. Yeah.
I think I heard this analogy of when a slave leaves the slave owner's land, it's discouraging because they just hopped over to the next slave owner land's property. You know what I mean? And you have to fucking run through X amount of slave owner lands to actually be free. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that lifetime and that effort or your intention doesn't burst out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind
of
like I think intention is effort, to say the least. You know what I'm saying?
So this is the thing too. It's like, for example, you got the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't just get a camera and, you know, post here, post there, do this, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then expect for you to be where you are now. Like you had to go through step-by-step process in order to get to where you are now. And then not only that, you had to repeat the process so that way you could see purposeful growth. You understand what I mean? Same thing with when I go for a fight. Like I'm not just hopping in the ring and just be like, well, my intention was to win. Did you prepare to win?
Yeah.
Did you fucking train? You know what I mean? Like, so there is a process to actually doing these things that is some is available, but a lot of it is hidden. That if you actually do it correctly, you know, that it will actually pan out. But most people are doing most of this shit just willy nilly, like he said, just expecting to get a cheat code out of something that actually has purposeful meaning to it. You know what I mean? And a 1, 2, 3 step process that you have to do on purpose correctly in order for it to manifest.
Yes.
Yeah. Denial is also a motherfucker. You know what I mean? So let's say in the grand scheme of things, what happened was a tsunami, but you thought you wanted to live by the beach and somehow the tsunami, you know what I mean, made the ocean closer. You could be in denial and you can be kind of delusional to be like, man, I almost had it. You know what I'm saying? But shit worked. Shit worked, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, speaking of that, have you guys been seeing the TikToker who fucking like air bends and shit, or like water bends and shit? What do you guys think about that? You think that's just
You're talking
real?
about Jesus, the living son?
Is that his name? Let me look him up.
The black dude?
What? Man, I really don't be like paying attention to a lot of that shit,
I
bro. I
spoke to
be
him
trying to.
personally before. If you're talking about the
Yeah.
same guy, it's this black dude. And I first met him when I saw this video he was doing because he was dancing to Chris Brown my whole life. And he was just like moving his arms, and it like when he was moving his arms, the wind would come. And then people were like really talking shit to this man and talking crazy to this dude, and he got tired of it. And he was like, okay, everyone thinks that I'm faking. It was like, just pay attention, just watch. All you have to do is just use your eyes, just really look at me and pay attention. I have no reason to make this up. I don't gain anything from blah 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 blah. And he put his hands up, and he only puts his hands up so that you can see exactly when his mind is like locking in and or going out or zoning out. But he'll move his hands, and like he can move his hands and the wind will move, and he'll have the little windmills behind him so you can see it. And then he'll stop, and then the windmills will stop. And then there's been times where like he'll go out there and he'll be talking while it's thundering and lightning, and the lightning will be going with his speech. And then he'll stop talking and it'll stop. And there's been times where he'll breathe in real deep and then he'll exhale. And as he's exhaling, it'll thunder and it'll lightning.
Damn.
And he's teaching people how to do this shit. And he's like showing you that he's showing you that he's teaching people how to do this shit, and they're doing this shit in real life. Like with real hands, real body, real mind power.
Damn.
Yo, what's his name?
His name is Jesus, the living son. But S-U-N.
Oh, here we go.
That's
I got him. It is him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Check this out.
That's my dog. That's him.
Yeah, I saw someone making fun of him on Twitter. They were like, look at these autistics
that dude,
that they can control the air. And everyone's like, yo, he just controlled the air, bro.
But you really have to watch this shit. You really have to watch his videos and really watch it. Like, look at it. Like, this dude is not playing, bro. He's not playing. And he's got a funny personality, man. And he might not look what people want him to look like to be doing what he's doing, but he's doing that shit, bro. Like, you can't take that away from him. You can't. He's one of the few people on this internet that is doing shit like that. He's actually doing that shit, bro.
Yo, that's what I was saying. Like, another.
There's not too many people.
when you try to record these anomalies and these like miracles, sometimes it's hard, right? And it's almost like, is the divine aware that it's trying to be captured to where now it's a little camera shy, or it's like, I don't want to perform here. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you're able to capture this thing, like, it's probably not a divine intervention. It's more like this guy has control over things. You know what I'm saying?
It's because he's not going to use it for malicious intentions, man. He doesn't have any reason to use it to hurt anyone.
Right.
When you like when your heart is pure and you got power like that, they'll let you be like out loud about it. But
yeah, 100. He didn't have no. He didn't have no. Hey guys, today I'm gonna manipulate air. But before
and
that,
he's not taking credit for it.
Yeah,
like he's not taking credit for it, and he's not basically saying, "Oh, this is my power. I'm the only one in the world that can do this. This is just me." Like he's not vain about his power. That's why he's allowed to be so free with it. He's not afraid of himself. He's not. He's literally just existing. He's not trying to profit off of it or anything. People are paying him because they want to pay him, not because he asked.
Like, I should fight, bro. Imagine.
Right.
Doesn't even land a punch, dog.
He kicks you from the other half of the ring and shit. Like, what the fuck was that? Like,
that should be
referee's
crazy,
shirt flies off and shit.
Yeah. But Isaiah made a great point. It's kind of like how in the Bible, God's like, oh, you have to acknowledge me that you have, certain gifts or something like that. It's like, yeah, with these celestial beings and stuff like that, they don't want you to be a dickhead about the powers that or the spirits or the things that you can control, because now you have pride about it because you think you're actually doing that, but you're actually a vessel for them to work through you. You have to give them the props. You have to give them the highest honor of being able to use water or use the elements or use your mind or shit. Even me, when I fight and stuff like that, I don't believe it's me. I believe that there is another being able to use me as a vessel, so that way I can use my talent. You understand what I mean? Because who am I? You know what I mean? I'm not I'm nobody. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a person just like you. We're all fucking people, but we all have to be used in a way that we acknowledge that we're being used. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. We
have to
accept that we're being used. We have to accept the forces around us that want to use us. Everybody comes with their own forces, man. Like, there's going to be things that come in and out of you, and you have the ability to control what you manifest through you. Everyone, no matter how pure they try to act, no matter how much light they want to project, and how much peace and harmony they spread on this planet, everyone in this planet has their own darkness. Everyone in this planet has their own light. Everyone in this planet has the choice to manifest said darkness and said light, and or try to be the very few rare ones that can integrate both of them in that gray reality. It's all there. Like, it's there, man. It's so beautiful. I love existence. It's so crazy.
Dog, speaking of your fight, something interesting that I've been kind of looking into is how people use dance as a spiritual practice, right? I think I watched this movie where like this chick was evoking some kind of demon through dance, right? And going into the Dragon Ball Z deep dive that I did, I looked into the Hawaiians and the Polynesians, and I didn't know that the hula was some sort of like yoga practice, because you're kind of, you know what I mean, making like a snake motion and waking up the kundalini when you do your hip stuff, when you're doing your hula dances, right?
Okay.
It's interesting. Now we go back into fighting.
See that being some sort of invocation, for sure.
Not for fighting, but, whether it's for, fortune telling. I've seen a lot of, what are they called? Oracles do that, after they take whatever psychedelics they do, they kind of get into that snake charmer motion.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah. But it's obviously been commercialized now to just, oh, welcome to Hawaii, aloha, pearly shells. You know what I'm saying?
Cut it out, bro.
It's some hijacking shit, bro.
Shit.
But one great example is the haka. When the Maoris and the people from New Zealand, they do like these crazy war faces. They scream. They like slap.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Get ready for war.
They're actually invoking all of the fallen warriors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not them dancing. It's the dead spirits of the warriors moving through them.
Yeah.
They're a vessel for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, dude. I hate when I go into. I'm looking at Twitter now, and I guess New Zealand recently did the haka in court or something because of some kind of politics or something. You guys see
I was about to say that. Yeah,
bro, everyone is making fun of them. Like to me, because
come on, man. They look funny. It's not.
It's hard not to take personal, but to me,
they look funny doing it, man.
It does, but
it's serious. It's not their fault.
Dog, yoga looks fucking gay as fuck.
Like yoga looks funny. Like when you do yoga, bro. Like yoga looks very like you can't lie to a certain yoga positions. They look very sexual, and so unfortunately, a lot of the sexual looking yoga poses are some of the most beneficial ones. That's why they're considered sacred, because there's only certain people that have certain controls over that part of themselves that will be able to really benefit from that without putting each other in the positions and having sex, because that's not what it's about. Even tantric practices, bro, like people use the Kama Sutra so that they can find different positions to fuck in, but it's not even about that.
Yeah.
It's not about that at all.
You're not getting the real benefits of the technique type thing. And it's funny because
like actual tantric understanding has nothing to do with sex whatsoever.
It's about repositioning your energy flow. That's what it's about.
Isn't it more like semen retention more than it is sex, right?
Yes, it's the control of that primal energy. It's the control of that sacral energy. It's the control of all of that.
Yeah, man, that shit's hard.
It's the discipline of it. It's not to say necessarily to abstain from sex, but to use it in a consensual manner to the point where when it is finally time for you and this person, you and your Shakti, as they would call it, because you'd be Shiva and they'd be Shakti. When it's time for you to come with your Shakti, like your energy points are balanced enough so that you as the physical male, when your physical male body connects with this female body, her spiritual male counterpart and your spiritual female counterpart can continuously go into an inner physical and spiritual flow, in and out, up and down, all through the whole shit. It's super deep. It's literally a consensual exchange. Like they feel the energy they're exchanging. It's not just I'm putting my dick in your vagina. Excuse my language. Like it's not just simply we're having sex and we're enjoying. Like we're thinking about what we're doing. We're consciously being inside of each other, physically and spiritually. We're creating something right now, whether it's to conceive or whether it's to manifest. It's deep because they have rituals where, like, I hate to say it, man, but they have rituals where it appears to the outside looking in, it would appear that these people are having an orgy. But if you pay very close attention, no one's touching each other in the way that the people in the orgy is touching. Nothing primal is going on. They're saying mantras, they're doing breathing, they're doing all these things, and they're not having sex to please each other. They're only taking advantage of the spiritual benefits that come from this specific type of stimulation. Mm-hmm. The energy points that are triggered and the benefits from triggering said energy points.
Dog.
Well put.
So it's interesting. I'll go down this rabbit hole real quick. But going back to the haka thing, right? They would do the dance to invoke that spirit, and then from there that spirit would guide them in the battlefield, right? It's funny because I think the primal emotions like happiness, sadness, anger, all that shit, like you should be able to transmute that, right? If we're going to become alchemists and get really alchemical about it, you know what I mean? Where there is no bad or good, there's just what you can do with the energy type shit, and you're the driver of whatever, you know what I mean, journey you're going in.
That's the Hermetic principle right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's funny because I
Medical
recently
idea.
saw this Bible verse. It said, what's it called? A fool vents all his anger, but a wise man holds it in or holds it back, you know?
Proverbs.
And Proverbs 29:11,
Yep.
I believe.
Yep.
And it reminded me of this quote that John Jones said. John Jones, a UFC fighter, barring whatever you think of him outside the octagon, the dude objectively knows how to transmute that. You know what I'm saying? And be successful with his MMA career. You know what I mean? But what he said is the butterflies in your stomach, some people get overwhelmed by them, but you're the strongest when those butterflies are flying in formation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Once you've honed the energy and it's not so crazy anymore, you can aim it and Kamehameha that shit at anybody or just fucking absorb it, you know what I mean? And become powerful or charge up with it. And I feel like that's interesting because this verse literally kind of hints towards that power of these emotions can be transmuted. You know what I mean? Because if you vent all your anger, technically, right, you don't have anger anymore and you're just like empty vessel and you can kind of just do what you're doing. But I don't know if you guys know, for me personally, when I get pissed off and I'm not able to let it out, that shit builds up, bro, to a point where I feel like it'll physicalize, you know what I'm saying?
So like what people don't understand is like those emotions are energy.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is, and I've noticed this too, like especially even before I started fighting, but especially more that I fight now, is that when you have, it's kind like you said, it's kind of like balancing the good and the bad. Yeah, I have a lot of rage, right? And I've always had problems with anger management and stuff like that, right? Managing my anger. But the thing is about that is it's not that the anger's bad. No, it's just misdirected anger. So if you aim
Yes.
it properly, then you can use it for good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I can be in the fucking ring mad as hell, but not actually wrathful. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
To the
Seeing
point
red
where
type shit.
yeah, like I'm to the point where now I'm using my anger to fight because let's be real, like you kind of need a little bit of anger to fight. Like, there are some people in the ring who,
100%.
like Hassim, like he dances in the ring and stuff like that and stuff. But for the most part, you need to be a fucking animal while you're in there,
Yeah, you
dude.
gotta focus for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing
100%.
with happiness. Same thing with sadness. Same thing with shine. All of the fucking emotions that they call them is just energy in motion. That's why it's called emotion. It's energy in motion. So if you don't direct that energy properly, yes, it will fester. It will build up. It will cause sickness because energy gets stored in certain organs. Most people don't know that. So if
Yep.
you are a person who has a fucked up heart, it's because you haven't let a lot of stuff out heart wise to people. So you're having heart problems, heart complications, and stuff like that. If you're having a lot of kidney issues, this kind of goes with a lot of chakra stuff that I used to study too. If you're having a lot of kidney problems, it's because your adrenal glands are not properly dispersing that adrenaline energy. You're a person who has high anxiety because you are always anxious and you're not getting rid of all of the adrenaline because your kidneys are not working the way that you're supposed to be working, dispersing that energy, right? So, and
Yeah.
then it also goes back to what we were talking about before we got on. It's like your brain needs to deposit a certain chemical in REM sleep. If not, you'll have a lot of fucked up brain problems and a lot of dementia problems because your freaking third eye needs to deplete energy, bro. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. If you fester up a lot of stuff, you get a lot of headaches, you get a lot of dementia, you get a lot of forgetfulness because you are not depositing all of that fucked up emotion or energy in motion out properly. So all of the chakras have certain energy that if you deposit it properly, then you won't get sick. You won't have heart complications. You won't have fucked up stomach problems with your solar plexus. You won't have fucked up problems with your dick that you can't get it up. You know what I mean? Like all of that
Yeah.
stuff goes into alignment, because you have to understand how the energy moves in motion through your body, going back to the whole Karma Sutra thing, putting everything in line, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I heard this said too. It said that everything is a hologram. So whatever physical you have is a hologram of your internal condition. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you have a bunch, like you said, it probably manifested as a hormone or a chemical that ended up becoming, you know what I mean?
It becomes a physical thing.
And it becomes a blockage and it ends up becoming a tumor. You know what I mean? That is a hologram of something, and maybe stress or maybe anger. You know what I mean? Interestingly enough,
physical element. Yeah, because
I had
where does everything start? Everything starts in the spiritual first.
Right.
It doesn't. You don't just wake up and you have cancer. Like you spiritually worked on that for a minute before it actually physically manifested. You know.
It's interesting. It's like you're building sandcastles, but the grains of sand is all your thoughts and subconscious ingredients.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just crazy. But what I was going to say is, I feel like what happens is, it's funny, the energy in motion. That was a great point. When you have energy in motion, you have to exercise, right? Which is move your body. Isn't that weird that exercise is also exercising demons? You know what I mean?
Yo, I have a fucking live I was gonna do on this, bro. I was gonna do a
let's
live
get
on this.
in. Let's go in now,
We might
bro.
as well talk about it. Okay, so exercising, right? So again, if your body's not in motion, what are you doing? You're storing up energy that's just sitting there. All right, we can also correlate that to, let's just call it demons for now, right? You can also correlate that to you having just demons sitting in certain parts of your body that are just sitting there and just not doing anything, right? But when I go and exercise, I'm letting all of that out. I'm letting all of the stress out. I'm letting all of the bad energy out, all the demons out. Same thing when you exercise the spirit, right? You're exercising all of those demons that are inside of you that have been manifested through, let's just call it sin for now, right? Through different sins of lying and cheating and stealing and stuff like that, because you're harboring things that don't need to be there. You're harboring all of that energy that needs to be in motion, because an object that stays in motion, that is in motion, stays in motion, right? But anything that lays down, sits down, stays down for a long time, what does it do? It festers, it molds, it gets old, it starts to break down. This is why I tell people, if you have an injury, the worst thing you can do is not use it. If you have a fucked up knee, the worst thing you can do is not use it. Dude, I have an ankle that I fucking did a stage 4 sprain. They told me that I would never be able to walk right on this fucking ankle. Now I'm doing kickboxing.
Yeah.
Because you need to use these things, bro. Something that stays in motion will always stay in motion. If you stop fucking using something, I guarantee you, give it 1 or 2 years, you'll have more complications with it than if you kept using it. Because we need to continuously exercise those spirits that don't belong, that sit stagnant. Nothing's supposed to sit stagnant in your life, bro. Nothing is supposed to sit stagnant. Your job, the way you move with your children, the way you move your life, the way you move nothing is supposed to sit stagnant. We're not made to just lay down in beds and, just be a couch potato all day, bro. That's why understanding that object of having exercise daily in your life, it'll just literally just takes 30 minutes. Why do more people that exercise have a happier outcome in life than the people who don't exercise? It's just scientifically proven. You know what I mean? You release a lot of chemicals, you release a lot of serotonin, you release a lot of the cortisol chemical that causes stress, because if you don't move, you build up cortisol in your brain. You know what I mean? So it's just like it just makes sense. It makes so much sense.
Dog, so it's funny. Weed plays into this, because I feel like weed is inhaling a spirit. You know what I mean? And that's where these ideas come from. So
I'm glad you said that.
Hey, dog, I caught that. You feel me? But dog, nothing calms me down or like puts my mind at ease more than running, right? And it's funny because we talk about holograms and you talked about cortisol, right? If you have stress or you're thinking these crazy concepts and you're just all fucking neurotic, you have a bunch of energy and tension stored up in your head, right? And I heard this from this guy named Elliot Hulse on YouTube. He says every time you're in your head or you get stressed out, go into your body. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So go and work out. And I feel like that's a way to almost transmute that buildup of energy and transfer it into your body. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You disperse it.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, exactly. You disperse it. So there's not a reserve up in. You almost look like that airhead where your head blows up type shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, legit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that helps me. I feel like that calms me down. But smoking weed, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I'll be smoking weed to go work out and it's like I'm on autopilot. Isn't that fucking weird, bro? Like you're literally getting possessed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what that means in a sense.
Yeah, I think weed has its good and its bad. I mean, like I said, we were just talking about this before we got on the podcast. This is like, I'll go into it. So I was telling him that, every time I quit smoking, I have these vivid ass dreams, bro, to the point where it literally feels like I'm there. Like I have to wake up from my dream to realize that it was a dream type shit. Mm-hmm. So, and I looked it up, and what it is that your brain, I keep forgetting what the name of the chemical is, but your brain builds up this certain chemical. Nah, it's not serotonin. It's called something else because your brain it only deposits it during REM sleep. So if you don't get proper REM sleep, then your brain continuously builds this up, and that's how dementia and stuff happens later on in life. But what weed does, it does not help you deposit that chemical because let me just ask you this, Joe Reezy. Do you have vivid dreams a lot?
When I'm smoking?
Yeah.
Dude, it's probably like in a span of 30 days, I'll probably get one or two.
Exactly.
It'll leak out from the cracks type shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Because weed is an inhibitor for that. And it keeps that chemical in your brain. But if you don't have proper REM sleep, it doesn't get deposited. That chemical only gets deposited when you have proper REM sleep. So if you don't have vivid dreams and stuff like that, then you need to start figuring out what it is you're eating, what it is you're doing, what it is you're smoking that's not helping you get proper REM sleep, so that way you can properly deposit that chemical and your brain will have better cognition. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh, so now it makes sense why the fuck I'm having all these damn dreams is because I've been smoking for X years and it's all fucking built up and now hitting me with a fucking rush to the point where I literally will feel like I'm in a dream, bro. Like, and I'll just wake up and be like, wait, that wasn't fucking real. Like, and then not only that, I will remember the dream too. Like, sometimes you'll have a dream and you wake up 3 minutes later and you're just like, oh fuck, what the fuck was that dream? No, I will wake up and literally tell my girl the whole fucking dream from beginning to end, dude, and it's fucking weird and crazy. So like, you have to deposit these chemicals that are just built up in your body, or these demons that are built up in your body, or these spirits that build it, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's an energy that needs to be dispersed. You want to call it good? Cool, call it good. If you want to call it bad, call it whatever the fuck you want. But it's an energy that needs to be dispersed because energy needs to be in motion, bro. It has to be.
Yeah, man. Some of those dreams I had when I sobered up to pass a drug test. So I knew that once I reached the finish line, I could go back to my ways. But dog, some of the most unforgettable dreams where I don't need no dream journal till this day. I think that was around 2017.
Just got another notification from drones. My bad.
For real?
Yeah, on my ringtone.
Just to go back on the drones, bro. Bookmark this because this is probably gonna take us all the way to the end of the episode. But going back to the drones, why it's not aliens is all of a sudden ring lights can capture it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's not ring lights. It's
ring cameras. I mean,
no. It's what it is. It's there's like a community thing where people can post on there. Okay. So it's kind of like Facebook for Ring, and people are posting that they're seeing these things on the Ring app. You know what I mean?
I thought they were flying fucking low to where the ring cameras were fucking catching them.
Nah. People are just posting that they're seeing them every like fucking hour or 10 minutes, or right now it's less right now, but like let me see if I can see what the notifications was looking like.
Yeah. Man, I'd be trying to catch one of those things, man. Get a fucking rappel.
5 minutes ago. It's just weird. I was checking my backyard camera and saw 2 drones flying all the area from East Landis Ave. Like they don't move to other directions, and it's almost 1 a.m. Another one says there are 2 over the top of the hospital for 20 to 30 minutes early in the night. Another one says there are fire EMS personnel flying a recreational drone tonight in Malaga. I guess they're trying to see it. Here's an actual video of a drone. I don't know if I can send that to you. Somebody has a video like that they posted from their phone. Drones continue to fly near the airfield of Weymouth. Another video, drone trail. Drones flying over Chestnut Bruce. Like they're all night. It's been for the past 6 hours, 7 hours, 11, 6, 7 hours. For the past 7 hours, they've been posting about these fucking drones, dude.
New Jersey drones. Yeah, they're taking over, man. And I mean, Donald Trump tweeted about it.
Yeah, it's his fault. It's fucking Donald Trump's fault. That's the fucking video right there. That's on my phone. Go
this
up.
One right here?
No, go up. That one. And the Ring app. Is that it? Is it that? It looks similar. No, I don't think it's that one. It might be, but it looks like it. People are just recording them, and you can record from your phone and then post it on that app on Ring. So like, they're just taking all kind of fucking videos with it, bro. Like, and you can see all kind of shit.
Most of the UFOs are actually ours, but not actually interdimensional. They actually are made by Lockheed Skunk Works. That's why they suck, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they have, I don't know. I feel like they'd be going crazy I don't know. I just feel like it'd be more of a mass hysteria if they were actual like Independence Day type shit UFOs. You know what I mean? if they were just drones flying around, like I would go out there and take a video. And it seems like that's what's going on. Everyone's out there taking videos type shit, you know?
Yeah, they're definitely taking videos. But back to what you were saying about the weed, you said you detoxed for a little bit for a job, and then what?
Yeah, so like I said, those were some of the most vivid dreams that I can recall still. You know what I mean? Every little detail I can still recall. And it's funny because I feel like dreams are interdimensional experiences that we try to verbalize once we're recalling them, you know, and that's why it's hard to recall dreams right after you wake up sometimes. But till this day, there are 3 specific dreams I had when I sobered up for that time, bro. And I still remember them. It doesn't take no dream journal to recall.
Yeah.
The experience was potent enough to where I call it free psychedelics, bro. Like it's as potent as a crazy psychedelic experience, dog.
For real, bro. It's like, let me get high today. Well, let me sober up. Like,
no, dog.
What?
It's to the point where like, yo, I'm tired. I just worked out. You know, I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to sleep, not take fucking 8 grams of mushrooms and trip out type shit. You know what I mean?
Word, bro. Just get a fucking a weird ass DMT trip and shit. Like, bro, like what the fuck? But there is, what is it? Is it DMT that's in your brain actually? It's DMT, right?
Yeah, DMT. I think
DMT is actually in your brain. So what if that really is that? You know, what if because we eat so much fucked up shit and we smoke so much fucked up shit, the DMT is not actually being properly processed through our brain. And then when you sober up and shit, it does, and you just get like a fucking hit, and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck was that? Like, you know what I mean? You get a fucking crazy ass dream that you can remember that shit feels like you were in a whole nother world and shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know about you, bro, but Do the intense dreams feel like you needed to have them though?
Yeah, I feel like it's
Weird,
something that
right?
it's like a release, like we were just talking about. It's like a energy in motion that was stuck, just stuck, dude. Like it's just it felt good, but it felt fucking scary at the same time because, like I said, I thought I was harboring some emotions that I never fucking like. What, like I said, a lot of my dreams were escape dreams. Like I was escaping out of this fucking building. It looked like the Umbrella Corporation, where androids were on the outside of it, and I'm helping other people escape. I escaped. Some people didn't, but then I went back in to help them get out, and then almost get caught by these fucking drones. Like, and I had escape dreams similar to that over and over and over again. And I'm just thinking, like, dude, am I harboring some type of shit where I feel like I'm trapped in life? Like, what the fuck's going on? But it made me feel better about everything else that's going on in life. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I
dog.
don't know.
Me too. I feel like I did have dreams that I can't recall. Like I said, out of the 2 months I was sober, there were 3 dreams I could literally recall like the back of my hand. But I didn't just have 3 dreams. I had a bunch of dreams, but majority of those dreams I can remember. I was running away. Like there's
Yeah,
always this running away sensation when it comes to dreams. And it's funny because I hear people have falling dreams, right? But no, mine seems to be consistent with running away as well. So
yeah, me
I don't know
too.
what's
And
going
then
on with
the
that.
weird, another weird thing back in July is like I had the same dream, a continuation of the same dream for fucking 4 days, bro. Like
Damn.
I kept continuing the same fucking dream for 4 days, and I kept starting it off where I ended. An escape dream, another escape dream, and it's just like, what the fuck was that, bro? Am I living in another world while I'm sleeping? You know what I mean? Is it
Yeah.
like, and they say like when you take certain psychedelic and drugs, you go to other places where you might be high for 5 minutes, but it felt like you lived for fucking 9 months in that place. You know what I
Yeah, like
mean?
what was called uh salvia, right?
Salvia does that to
Salvia is
you.
one of them. Yeah.
DMT does that to you. Oh, ayahuasca does it to you. Um, and there's something else that
I
does.
think ibogaine too. I think ibogaine is the number one drug that like
Yeah.
scares people and has a really high success rate with getting rid of addictions.
Really? I never heard of that
Yeah,
shit.
I
Damn.
think it might be 12 hours long. Can you imagine a trip that lasts 12 hours long, bro? Like
Well, I was high on shrooms for 12 hours because I took a whole fucking quarter. That was fucking
how long
crazy.
did that feel though? Did it feel like 12 hours or not?
Nah, I didn't. It felt like because time is weird on shrooms, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's like you felt like an hour passed, but like only 3 minutes passed.
literally,
You know
bro.
what I mean? So it's like it didn't feel like 12 hours, but I knew it was 12 hours because it was nighttime after because we took it during the day, and then nighttime came, and then I was still fucking tripping balls, and then it kind of tapers off after like the 12 hours, and you fall asleep and shit, but then you wake up and you still feel out of your body for like 2 days after that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
that was the most shrooms I ever took. Like we crushed it up in a grinder, put it in water, drunk a quarter. I mean, drunk an eighth, and then we ate the other eighth. I had got like a whole ounce, bro, and me and my girl just took both a quarter, and we blew up we took her mattress off the bed, put it in the fucking living room. I had a 50-pound weighted blanket. We rolled up hella fucking joints, put all of the joints on the side of the bed, put all the snacks on the side of the bed, water and everything on the side. We did not have to fucking move, bro. We just laid there and just talked without talking. Like that's why I think the brain is really an access point to like another fucking world, bro, because we literally were just talking without talking. Like it was just weird. We were conversating, hugging each other, laying down and just talking to each other, but we weren't fucking saying words, bro. It was fucking weird. Like
Yeah.
that was the most shrooms I ever took. But
Isn't that how fucking ants talk? Like they just literally
yeah,
touch heads and I don't know.
yeah.
I just watched this movie about ants. It's called Dream Scenario and how dreams interesting. You should check it out, Mel. I talk about it all the time, and we'll definitely break it down in one of our shows in cinematic symbolisms. But how dreams can kind of be its own creative consciousness, right? Let's say like all of a sudden, Elijah, people in your town start having a dream where you're like the president. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, when you wake up, like your town's going to see you and be like, oh, dude, I had a dream about you, you know, and they start treating you a little better and you didn't do anything. Right. But what happens in the movie is later on down the line, after he gets success from that collective consciousness, the dreams change to where they see him in the dream killing them. So now everyone is afraid of, you know what I mean, the main character.
Oh, wow.
In this example, everyone's now afraid of you, Elijah, and all of a sudden you get exiled out of the town because it's safer for the town because of a dream, bro.
Yeah, send me that. I definitely want to see that.
Crazy ass movie, bro. But
yeah, that's insane.
That's how, again, a perfect picture, I think, tells more than 1,000 words. You know what I mean? So I think that saying is solidifying the fact that words, it's a infinite amount of words to try to label and represent one image, I think. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like how Paul explained in the Bible. We had a whole conversation about Paul, but how he explained in the Bible how he was taken up to the seventh heaven and he could not, there were no words he could explain for it, you know? And people are like, whoa, how the fuck couldn't you explain it? Like, dude, explain your fucking dream to me then. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the same thing. It's just like, you gotta be there. You had to be there, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should have been there. Like, you can't really put words on how it is. All I can do is just tell you how it is, kind of give you the little connotation, maybe give you a little excitement behind it. But unless you were there, you're not going to feel how I felt. You're not going to see the shit that I saw. You're not going to experience what I fucking saw in my dream or in my head. You know what I mean? Through whatever drug or whatever dream I had.
Yeah. I don't know. Dreams are powerful. And again, in that movie, the same thing in that movie. And it's funny because Inception kind of touches on it. In that movie, they find out that they can hack into people's dreams. So they try to put commercials into people's dreams. You know what I mean? And so it's funny because Inception, bro. They're like, in that movie, I was talking about in dream scenario, they went up to the main character like, oh, dude, like people see you in their dreams all the time. You mind wearing this shirt? So people will probably see you in this shirt in the dream, you know? So trying to hack, obviously, your collective consciousness. And it's crazy because Inception is sort of that. You're planting an idea. You know what I mean? So like an idea can, I don't know, once it explodes properly, you can't try to grasp the concept of an idea with just a few words. You know what I mean? You have to speak in metaphors sometimes. You know what I mean? You have to speak abstractly sometimes. You have to use examples. You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy, which again is why I think, going back to exorcising demons, why I think smoking and, you know, getting creative while I'm high is almost a subtle way of planting ideas or getting ideas from Mary Jane or whoever the fuck you're trying to channel. You know what I mean? And I came across this book, Liber 420. Have you guys heard of that?
Nah.
It's called
the only Libor book I've ever read was the Libor Lilith, man. That's the only one.
What's that one? Of Lilith? I gotta check that one out.
Oh, wow.
But this one,
book, bro. It's really hard to talk about because people say, like, you got one half of the people that say it was like some fictional book written by this dude, but the other half say that it's an actual guide, and if you do these things that you hear in this book, you know, you can talk to or whatever. I don't know though. I just read it for the fuck of it, man. But it's a serious book. It's fucking serious. That shit is crazy. I don't think I should have read it. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think anybody should read that book.
It freaks you out that much.
I kicked myself out. But dude, I feel like Lilith is somehow.
Wait, Joey. You should have heard what he said.
What he said?
Say it again. He
I
said
don't
he
think
said he
anybody should
read
read
it.
that book, man.
Yeah, he don't think
Yeah,
nobody should read it. It freaked him out.
I don't
Like,
think. Yeah, not even that it would freak them out, man. Like, there's just some shit in there. Like, if the wrong person, like, if the wrong person with the sick ass mind was to read that motherfucker, and with the patience to do the shit that they doing in this bro.
You're talking about Liber Lilith?
Yeah, man. If the wrong person was to read that book and try to do the things that are written in that book, it's a wrap.
Dog. Would I be
yeah.
crazy to say that the elites probably read that
It's a
book
wrap.
and
I'm telling you, man.
that's kind of the basis of all these orgies and
Yeah.
sexual?
I wouldn't
You wouldn't
fucking
be
doubt
wrong.
it, because the amount of power
They
that
got
it tells you
patience.
that you can get from that book, you gotta have patience, because you gotta carve shit in a specific type of metal and a specific type of time with a specific inch, a specific width, a specific
Gematria.
length.
Huh.
Like, bro, then you gotta turn it's either period blood or semen, or you can mix them both, because period blood from the woman, it holds the divine powers of the women. It's their pure life force. So all of their spiritual benefits from the female, the divine feminine, you can get the benefits like the psychic powers and shit from that. But you gotta
Yeah.
turn the period blood into powder. And then you got to turn it into powder. You got to process it into powder with this metal, with this sigil at this time during this whatever. Like, same thing with the semen. You turn it into a powder, you take it, then you get certain divine powers from the male aspect, and then you have to channel the spirit of Samael.
Oh, fuck.
See,
It's
this is
devil.
why
very fucking wicked, man.
Disney bought the publishing rights to the Bible, because we can't have all that shit in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm telling you, bro. It gets wicked, bro. It gets wicked, bro. And
That's
like
insane.
the and it's not Iraq. I don't want to disrespect him, man. But this is a guy I met. He openly practiced this, so this isn't really necessarily a secret. But they do magic like that too. Like, they have to carve certain type of on a certain type of metal. Different type of characters have different number correspondences and stuff like that. Like, it's all wild, bro. It's really serious. Like, stuff
Oh,
like that.
shit.
People are really doing this stuff in real life, on real
I believe
time.
it.
And
It's
they're
a
making real
grimoire.
things happen in real life,
It's a
even in
grimoire?
India.
Yeah, I guess it's a grimoire.
Oh, it's real
so
then.
that's what-
It's definitely
yeah.
real.
I read
you
that
don't
whole
go in?
book. I read that whole book, man. Like,
Hey,
it
have you
tells
tried anything? Have you tried anything in there?
Nah, hell nah.
Damn.
Nope.
Yeah,
I
dude.
was
If it's a
very
grimoire, I wouldn't try
this
shit in that book.
this
Bro.
this
Yo,
is this
I
is the
feel the
thing,
aura of grimoires, bro.
bro.
I'm
You
This
can
is
be
just
locked.
open that shit up.
You can literally
you
get
can
locked in on
know,
a demon,
like,
bro.
you can know better than to fuck with shit like that. But if you stay around that shit long enough, you're gonna do something. I promise.
Yeah, you're gonna do
Yeah.
something.
You gotta stay away from shit like that. If you don't if you don't want to get caught up in, if you don't want to get caught into it, bro, the best thing for you to do is just leave it alone. Because the
Yeah.
more you learn, the more fascinated you will become, and you're going to get curious, and you're gonna want to fuck around and find out something.
Yeah, you're gonna be in your fucking.
Even if you completely disagree with it morally, you're going to want to find something out. I promise, it's gonna happen.
You're gonna be in the
And
bathroom.
you're gonna
looking at
question
girls'
yourself.
pads and shit.
You're gonna question, bro. You're gonna
Our
you're gonna question
downfalls are
yourself and hate yourself
curiosity.
about a good week, and then you're gonna do
Like,
it again.
Like, babe, where'd you put that tampon you used at? Like,
excuse me? Don't worry about it.
The fuck?
What did
My
you say?
weed stash
Don't
is
worry
a bunch
about
of
it.
old tampons and shit. Fucking
They ain't not
Fucking
bro.
gross.
It's
What
fucking
the
crazy,
fuck?
bro.
Don't go in there.
Yeah, nah, yeah, I
It's a
wouldn't fuck
wild
with no
world, man. You'll
grimoire.
be surprised. Because this is what you have to understand. Like, what's really happening with old magic like that is like, it's really what you're doing is you're tapping into your old primal instincts. So you're not really thinking as a human anymore. So you have to understand that in nature, and like, let me rewind. Like, right now in reality, the only reason that things appear to be good and or evil to us specifically as human beings is because we have the ability to think about it, and we have the ability to think against what we feel.
Right.
In nature and things like that, a lion is not going to be thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat this zebra
Yeah.
because this zebra has a family. Maybe I should convince the rest of my pride to be vegetarian so that we can have more harmony with nature. That's not possible. If the lion did that shit, that would not be harmony. That would be chaos. It would go against the natural order of what's supposed to fucking happen. So the reason that certain like sacrifices and things that even something as crazy as turning period blood into powder, the reason shit like that sounds fucking crazy is because we're not doing that on a normal day-to-day basis. And we keep forgetting that the reality that we live in right now is artificial. And the
It's a
things that we
fabricated
call good,
reality.
or the things that we call good and evil aren't because we feel they're good and evil. It's because of what they told us. Our perception of good and evil doesn't even belong to us. It belongs to whoever's in charge of this. And then the shit that they're telling us is good and evil is it's just they don't even believe in that shit anyway. They're just giving it to us so that we can fight about it, so that they can do whatever they want to do about that shit.
Yep. Absolutely. Because the laws of nature, they work regardless. It's like kind of like the conversation we had a couple weeks ago, Jarizi. Gravity. It does not give a fuck if you're a 2-year-old or if you're a 90-year-old. If you walk off the cliff, you're gonna fucking fall.
You're going to fucking fall.
The
Like it's
laws
going
of
to happen.
nature don't care about good, bad, up, down, left, right, bitch. If it's gravity, gravity's gonna fucking work. So you need to understand that if using period blood or semen or whatever is a part of the natural law of how things are supposed to work, it's going to work. You know
And
what I mean?
that's the thing. If this shit wasn't supposed to happen, then why does it work?
Going back to what you were saying earlier, right? Like there's a 1, 2, 3
You know what I'm
method
saying?
way of doing
Like
stuff that
this is,
purposely works. It works on purpose because it's
and we
made to
don't
work like
like
that.
it seems bad. It just seems bad because we're like, oh man, this nigga doing that. But like, man, I wish I could share certain things, but I'm not allowed to share certain things when it comes to African traditions and shit like that. But there's certain things that they do, bro, that if you was to see that shit outside looking in, you would never understand. And you would swear up and down. Like, seriously, you personally, if you were to see that shit, you would probably come on this podcast and be like, yo, fuck these African niggas. These niggas are the demons. They are monsters. Don't fuck with them. You'll never believe what I just saw. Those words will come out of your mouth if you were to see some of the shit that they do. But if you were to really look at what's going on and understand that there's no difference between this and what's going on over here, it takes it away. Then now at that point, you just have to get over seeing things go through what they're going through.
So I'll share something my mom shared with me. So one of her friends had a friend that used to practice voodoo or some type of black magic. And she said that she was in this lady's house, and the lady had dolls in the house, right? And they're chilling or whatever. Long story short, she said the doll that was sitting next to the lady got up and ran across the fucking room, bro.
I just got
she never went to that lady's house again.
That's crazy.
Like, that's how real this shit is, bro. Like,
but I see, like in Benin, they got stuff like that, man. Where like they'll channel energies because this is what it goes back down to. These are just energies. They're just forces. Like these gods that the only reason that we calling them gods is because that's what the white man is calling them, and the white man got you believing that these people are believing in shit that don't fucking exist. That's from the time though. So all these forces are just forces. They've never had human bodies. They don't know what it's like to be a human being. They don't care about what it is. Like they don't know. It's not even that they want to be human. They don't give a fuck about being human at all. They don't care. These are just forces in this world that can be directed. They can be called upon. They can be transmuted. They can be used to heal. They can be used to hurt. Whatever it is, they don't agree with good or evil. There's no good or evil. It doesn't matter if you're a murderer or if you're a saint. As long as you do what you're supposed to do to channel this energy in the correct way, you'll get what you want out of it. So in order for you to get this energy and work this energy the way that you want to work it, you need it to sit still. So what they would do is, let's say, for example, they might know what plant or what animal this person or this spirit is connected, this force is connected to. And how they do that is they watch nature. So this animal moves with this movement. So does this portion of water. This plant carries the same aggressive characteristics as this. And then they put that, they got like a mathematical web of what goes with what. So they put all of these things together, and then they call on this force, and now this force comes down on an anchor that it recognizes because it recognizes its own force in these pieces of ingredients. Gotcha. So now you're calling on it, and we are all already understand water, it holds information. Plants, they hold information. All these other things, they hold information. So when you're speaking, or when you're praying over water, or you're praying over your food, or you're praying over whatever, you're saying your blessings, you're consecrating the food with the prayer, and you're blessing the food, and you're eating it. It's the same science, the same math, however you want to say, same understanding as when they're consecrating these little dolls or whatever. And then these dolls are running all over the place. They have actual forces that are in there. And to call it good or evil, again, it's only scary because we don't use those forces in the same way. We got people using those forces for us, and we go out and we buy the things that they make with those forces. We're not personally integrating these forces within ourselves, but on the other side of the world, they have such a close relationship with these forces, these unseen forces, that they let these forces move through their bodies, move through everything around them. They coexist naturally with these forces, and that's why they're caught up in what we would assume to be tragedy, because we live in this illusory world. Where right now I'm in an apartment building with AC and a flat screen TV with a PlayStation and you know, like,
but if you were on the street, it would be bad.
Yeah, like us, we're out of nature. Like, we created nature on top of nature. We created a world on top of a world that's already here, and we're hiding away from the tragedies of nature. We're hiding away from shit like that.
Holy fuck!
That's where we're supposed to be, whether we like it or not. Like, it sucks because it's not even our fault that we're afraid of that lifestyle. It's not even our fault. We were just born into this shit. But it literally, we would think that it'd be crazy right now. Motherfuckers would look at you wild if you were to say, you know what? Fuck this apartment. Fuck this job. Fuck everything. Fuck these shoes. Fuck this clothes. I'm just gonna go out here and I'm just gonna be natural. Everybody will look at you wild. But think about this though. Imagine how everybody felt when every nigga out here in this world was running around naked, if we was even doing that. That's not my call. Yeah. But let's just say, for the sake of the evolution theory, we'll just throw it out there. Let's say we was apes and we was running around here naked. Imagine how crazy the motherfuckers thought that nigga was that made the first clothes, bro.
Hell yeah. Like, he just put a leaf around his penis. What the fuck is this?
What is he doing? You know what I'm saying?
And
that's just stupid, dog. Why just let it
out? Now this nigga done found out he got the whole tribe wearing leaves on their body, and then you got one nigga that's stuck to the regular shit. He walk around butt ass naked, still eating animals raw. He ain't cooking his food, and now everybody looking at him like he crazy.
Yeah,
they flipping the narrative, bro.
Dog, and you know how
that's really how it is.
You know how you fully hijack that? You make the females think the guys with the leaves are the more dominant men.
There you go.
Yep. Now you make
exactly
class systems.
So now,
oh, he's got evergreen leaves, not deciduous plants.
He's like nigga, he don't even got nothing to do with the leaves. Like that's why me personally, that's why I don't dress really nice. It's not that I can't afford it, on top of the fact that I kind of actually cannot afford really, really nice clothes or nothing like that. But like, I just don't like it because I feel like it's vain. And if I want someone to see me, whether it be my friend or, you know, my girlfriend or whatever, I don't want them to be like, yo, I like this nigga because he dressed nice. I like this nigga because he fly. I like him because he got chains, or I like him because he got a nice car. I like him because he got this. But what do you like about me though?
What am I? Who am I?
Right. Who am I to you other than my clothes? Because if I take off this true religion right now and I put on my work clothes, you gonna treat me the same? Yep. That's how I feel about things. That's how I feel about shit, man. Like, unless it has some sort of spiritual significance to me. Like it goes back to the whole leaf thing. Like, all jokes aside, like they do choose certain plants for these certain people because
I was about to
it's the
say
same
that,
thing
dog.
like a zodiac. Like this person
Yeah.
has evergreen because they're connected to this spirit who was connected to that force or whatever.
Right,
Like
right.
unless it's something like that, I won't have anything for it because I used to be against jewelry and shit like that. But when I found out for what purpose that my ancestors was doing it for, then I wasn't really too opposed to wearing a gold chain here or there. But at first, I didn't really care for it because it was just like niggas just gold chains and gold grills
Yep,
for literally
yep.
no other purpose,
Just to show
but to
off.
look cool. No
It's the
other
flex
purpose
culture.
whatsoever.
The flex
Yeah.
culture is
Like,
killing us,
and
man.
me, it's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. Because if you want to go spend 10,000 on a shirt because you didn't have 10,000 and you just want to do it, if that's what you feel like is success to you, if that's what brings you to your most beneficial destiny, I can't fucking argue against that. But like for me personally, a lot of the shit I could say on a most very transparent level, bro. 93% of the shit that I do, I thought about it first, and it has purpose. Everything that I do has purpose, from the shoes that I put on to the socks that I put on to the body wash that I wash my ass with.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has purpose. Like I don't just do nothing for no fucking reason ever. I
Most
don't,
of the
even
big
since I
brand
was a
names
kid.
too are pedophiles. So you're
Right.
also, you know what I mean, not
Dude,
contributing to that.
yeah, man. I like when I found out about Timberlands, bro.
What happened with Timberlands?
Like,
I'm speaking about Balenciaga, but what happened with
So
Timberlands?
bro,
the
the
tree,
Timberland boot,
bro.
the tree, the oak tree. This the tree that they used to hang slaves on, bro.
Yeah, that's the
Oh
same tree that they.
no!
Yep,
What the fuck?
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and it's
They,
huge in
and
black culture
it's
too.
it's a huge. Yep, yep, yep.
That's fucking.
Just to touch on something Elijah said, like
That's
we're so out of tune with nature.
Yeah.
Like most people don't understand that they're covering up nature with fake. So, for example,
Yeah, man.
if you go to like an open field, right? What do you see growing? Quote unquote weeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you're going with this.
So, but if you go to your neighbor's yard, they got fucking the greenest grass ever and fucking it's laid out and beautiful, right? But which one is life? Which one has life running through it?
Right.
The quote unquote weeds, right? Uh, just recently I seen that they're creating trees out of the stem cells of other trees. What the fuck do we need that for if we have trees?
What?
Hey
So
man.
Huh?
they're
Are the
replacing
trees growing
things.
faster or something?
I don't know, but it's to combat deforestation. You know how
Mm.
dumb that is? That's the dumbest thing. So we're trying to combat us killing trees by growing more trees. Like what? Just stop fucking killing trees and then plant trees. Like, you understand what I mean? So what they're doing is they're taking things that actually have the God life in it. I'll just use God as a generic term right now. As the God life in it or the living source of life in it, and they're replacing it with things that are fake and fabricated. You know what I mean? Another thing
100%.
is
That's what you're seeing
the
with AI and the metaverse.
the
They're
AI
really doing studies and really gathering data on human perception so that they can hack it
and
to make that shit feel more real. And
and
bunkers,
also
a lot of
did
bunkers
you
now.
see did you see that they're creating fake bees? What the fuck do we need fake bees for?
I saw the
Because
fake
we're
bird.
because we're killing real bees from the shit that we're doing to the environment. They're destroying life.
Yo,
In
man,
the
I'll be watching
scene,
the bees out here. That shit is sad. They drinking soda now. The bees are drinking soda, nigga.
because they don't know what the fuck to
Like
do. They're confused, dude.
The bees are no Ozempic over here
the
in
bees
Cali,
out
dog.
here, bro. I'm serious. Like they're drinking
They're
soda,
confused
bro. They're eating bologna. I'm
because
like,
because
this is not okay. Like, what's going
we're out of
on?
balance. We're out of balance, bro. In the Essene Bible of Peace, I keep calling the Bible, in the Essene Gospel of Peace, uh, so so let me just go into that for a second. So we know that Jesus of Nazareth, right? But they say they can't find a place called Nazareth, right? Because there was no place called Nazareth. It was a people. They were the Essenes. Jesus was an
Yeah.
Essene, right? So he taught the Essene way, which is why he would go to different places, i.e., the Hindu religion, the Buddha religion, uh, the Muslim religion, the Western culture, which we know him as Jesus, right? He would go to different places and teach this teaching. Well, they didn't fucking like that shit because he was imputing on their way of making money, which 98% of the times they were they were gouging the people of resources that that were natural and stuff like that, right? So in that book, he teaches people that one, God's word is not in the Bible, it's not in a book, okay? It is inside of you. That's one of the first thing he teaches. The second thing he teaches is that, well, this is obviously not in order, but I'm just remembering it as I'm remembering. Is that God is in everything that has life in it. So, for example, right now I'm looking at a TV stand. This TV stand, more than likely, has been made with fake wood.
Mhm.
But the TV stands that our grandparents, they were made with real fucking wood to the point where you need like three men to fucking pick that shit up, dude. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Even
like
these fake brick walls we got, bro.
fake brick walls. We got fake grass. We got shit. Water's not even as pure as it should be. The
Shit, you go to
animals are
Vegas, you
fucking
got fake
confused.
skies.
Fake skies in Vegas. We got a fake sun in China now.
Fake
We got
skies in Vegas, nigga.
fake leaves.
Yeah.
Bro, we got fake everything. So they're taking the God particle out of everything, the things that actually have real legit life in it, and replacing it with these fabricated things, which is again, they're making babies that you can now just without humans. You don't even need fucking humans no more to make babies. That is if that's not taking the life out of life, I don't know what the fuck is. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So if you really, really pay attention to the things that they're doing, they're literally taking the God out of things, the life out of things. It's not that they're taking God, the Father up in heaven that's sitting on a fucking throne looking at you and wagging his finger. No, they're taking the God essence out of things, the real out of things. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what people are missing. They're thinking that God is he's up there wagging his finger at you. No, he's literally right here, around here, but you can't see him because everything around you is fucking fake. Your door is fake, your TV's fake, your socks are fake. It's not made out of nothing real. It's all made out of fake synthetic everything. You know what I mean? So if you think about stuff like that, then you start to realize, yeah, they're removing God from everything, bro. Like, and I like I said, I'm just using God as a generic term for what's real, what has
Yeah.
life running through it.
Force. Life
Yeah.
Yeah,
force.
Life force,
yeah.
For
right.
sure, bro. For sure. We follow you.
I
I
think
completely agree. That's
we
really
get
nice the way you put it though. Like the way you said it out loud like that. That's pretty smooth.
Right.
But that's exactly what they're doing though. Like that's
That's
that
how
whole
the
world on
scene.
top of world
That's how
shit.
the Essene
yeah,
gospel explains it. If you read it, there's a audio book too on YouTube, but I sent it to Joe Reezy. That's how it explains it. It explains it just like that. And if you don't understand it like that, then you'll always think that God is a person who's upstairs wagging his
But
finger at you, telling you,
wouldn't that
"I'm
be what
sorry,
we are? Wouldn't that be what we are though? Life
we are
that got
life."
taken out of life.
Exactly. Now
yeah,
you're
bro.
Like
thinking.
what that would make
I
us
mean,
the original
Exactly. Now you're
AI.
thinking because what are we doing? We're living in a fabricated world. These walls are fucking fake. We're not like you
I
just
saw
said
this
earlier.
fucking
We're not
funny ass
living in
meme,
nature.
dog. We kill trees to
Ah,
make a box that we can live in, and it
Yep.
feels like we live in a box. So we take pictures of outside and put them inside, so it looks
Yeah.
like we're
ain't that
outside,
some shit, man? We're like, what the fuck are we
bro.
doing?
You know?
We live in the what's it called? The
And it's like, hey, yo, something is missing. Then you get a pet. You take an animal from outside and bring him inside, type shit. Oh, something is missing. Let me get a plant. Let me get plant from outside. Bring it inside.
bro,
It's
we
like,
live
dog, you already
in
had it.
what's it called? What's that box called? It's a box that
Metatron
has
Q?
squares. It's we is that's what it called? No, I'm thinking of a different word, but it's literally a box and it's called something, but it turns
Tesseract?
in on itself. Yes, a
The
tesseract.
Tesseract,
It
yeah,
turns
the
it
Tesseract,
turns
yeah.
in on itself so
Shout
that
out Nick
way it
Fury.
always repeats the same thing over and over, but you don't realize it because we're kind of just a little bit tweaking it just a little bit, but it's the same shit over and over and over again. It's like how you take a piece of trash to put it in a trash bag, but then you take that trash bag and then you put it in the fucking trash can, and then the trash man takes it and puts it in the fucking the garbage, but then that just comes right back as a recycled particle anyway, as a trash bag again. So it's the
Mhm.
same fucking thing over and over and over again, but we don't see it because we're not paying attention to every aspect of how life rotates on its own axis in itself. You know what I mean?
And after a
Mhm.
few times it turns and shifts into each other, like you lose track. You know, it's like when someone puts a ball in 3 cups and they shake it around. Like at some point, you don't give a fuck anymore. You know.
And then one thing I learned, I forgot where the fuck I learned this from. But you know, if you add 1 + 2 + 3 + 4, and you keep on doing that, you know what it eventually adds up to?
What's that?
666.
It adds up to a negative
Yeah.
120.
Damn.
Because all life does, it turns
Goes
in
back.
on itself, bro. That's literally all it does. So if you add it up enough times, it eventually becomes a negative number, which is fucking weird. I never fucking knew that shit.
So
I
what
just
is
learned
it?
that like
What is it? Let me
if
look
you
it up.
do 1 + 2 + 3 like infinitely, it eventually comes up to a negative number or something like that.
That's
Actually,
crazy.
be negative.
1 + 2 + 3 + 4 + 5 + 6 + 7 plus all the way up to I don't know what the fucking number is. It eventually
Okay, here.
comes up to a negative number.
I think I got it. That's crazy. That's some fucking Enochian gematria shit. The sum of all positive integers, 1 + 2 + 3 + 4 + 5, does not converge to a finite limit and therefore does not have a sum. However, some say that the sum is equal to -1 in it.
Negative. Yeah, there it is.
If you redefine some core mathematics, such as the meaning of the equal sign, that is done in style of mathematics, called the analytical continuation, where the equal sign means is associated with instead of and is equal to. I don't think I'm smart enough to fucking understand what the fuck that means, dude.
Pretty much
But yeah,
what you
bro, I
gotta
believe.
understand is the longer we go, the more we just turn in on ourselves. Things just start to just like you said, the tesseract. It's the same. It's a square within 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 a square that just continues to turn and turn and turn and turn, and you're just doing the same pattern over and over again. But you don't realize it because this corner just looks a little bit different than that corner. It looks a little bit different than that wall. It looks a little bit, but you're still in the same fucking box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because there are no straight edges or boxes in nature. So
Right. Yep.
that
That's true.
also, I don't know. The only natural square I feel like in straight edge or straight lines in nature is that you see the hexagon in Saturn, that little pattern on
I
Saturn.
Yeah,
did
even
see
them,
that.
even those lines aren't straight though.
Yeah.
They just kind of look that way.
Like they're linear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, of course, they move along to create the hexagonal shape, but they aren't like precisely straight though.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, you can't believe everything that NASA posts either. So
That's true. Yeah,
it's
that is fucking NASA-fied.
It is interesting though that
NASA.
it's hexagonal.
Yeah.
Black
It
cube,
is.
man. Black cube. But just going back to what you said, Elijah, about the book, the Liber Lilith, going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you see these rituals play out, if you see these practices play out, sometimes it's so intimidating because of our Christian and Catholic indoctrination,
Absolutely.
I think. You know what I mean? And I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to Mel about this. When you download that program or that belief system of Catholicism or Christianity, you download a program of black and white, good and bad. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically you're going to label and organize something in a good shelf or a bad shelf. And some of these practices go against the indoctrination in the program to where it automatically by default goes into the bad category. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it's interesting because we talked about resonance magic and how when you hit a tuning fork, if it's vibrating at the same frequency, another tuning fork tune into the same frequency is going to vibrate as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how we make contact with these entities. That's how they, you know what I mean? It sends a beacon and they're just like, oh shit, let's go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they tell you. That's why people like we've said it to each other without even realizing it throughout our entire lives. Like be like, yo, that guy got good vibes. Before we even understood that vibes is short for vibration. Like that dude has a good vibration.
Yeah.
I like this guy's vibration. I resonate with this person. Before we even understood, there's some of us in this world that have been using words like this just because it's just something we picked up socially without even understanding what we're talking about.
Like, so I'm just vibing, man. Like,
your vibe attracts your tribe.
Vibing. yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't fucking with that nigga, man. He got bad vibes. Like, no, that's a bad vibration. I don't want to mix with that. Like, that's true.
That's crazy as fuck. And I don't know. Am I crazy to think that they've almost minimalized these things into elementals? You know what I mean? How like something gets put into like a snake and whatever reptile species gets classified as like an earth animal. You know what I mean? And there's animals that are air animals. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird to think that that's the preface for Pokemon?
Yeah, I was kind of going to go into that what you said because Elijah was kind of saying, I forget what you were saying about how it's not necessarily that they're good or bad, it's just about how they're used. And Joe Reezy said that. He was like, dude, they're just kind of like Pokemon. It's like if you catch a fucking Ghastly in a fucking in the bushes, he doesn't give a fuck about whether it's good or bad. He's just trying to get out. You know what I mean? But if you catch that,
all he wants to do, all he knows is if you tell that nigga to use Shadow Ball, he's gonna use Shadow Ball.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you tell this man to use Shadow Ball to save someone's life, or if you tell this man to use Shadow Ball to kill somebody,
he's just using.
He's not gonna ask no questions. Oh, you said Shadow Ball? All right, boom. What else? Which one?
Yeah, right. What's my mission?
No questioning.
Yeah.
Same thing with angels. People think angels are good, but why do you think they're good though? Because they work for God? Do you know what God has told angels to do? Do you know that angels have killed children?
I sent Mel a bunch of these fucking funny ass quotes from the Bible, dog.
In Revelations, they destroy the world. So is that good or bad?
Exactly. Like they just do what they're told, bro. They just do what they're told. They're forces of energy, and they have specific commands, and they respond to certain things. So unless you know how to direct them, you I don't know, man. It's just so weird. It's so cool to talk about it like that, though. It is cool. That's pretty dope.
Because ever since he said that, that's how I've been thinking about it. I'm like, damn, that's fucking true, dude. Because like, it kind of goes back to how we were talking about smoking and exorcising, right? So you smoking and you're inhaling a spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you inhale that spirit long enough, again, you are building up a certain chemical in your brain that stays there. But unless you exercise to get it out, it's not correctly deposited. So that way you're not releasing it. You know what I mean? So you got to understand everything is like that. You're using something so that way it can be used, but you also have to understand that there is a back end and front end to it. Not a good or bad. It's a back end and a front end to it. So that way, if you overuse it, you could probably be in a manic state. But if you use it just enough, you fine tune it just enough, you can use that same bad energy, same good energy for something purposeful.
Dog.
Like snake venom.
Yeah, like exactly.
Perfect example. Yep, perfect example.
It's crazy, dog, because again, I'm trying to hone in and focus on Pokemon to do a cult anime, and it's interesting. The exorcising demons thing goes with Pokemon trainer because you got to work out your Pokemon for them to be strong.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you get these relationships like Charmeleon where he doesn't even respect.
They won't
that.
listen to you.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy, bro. You really got to work with these pocket
That's really how it
monsters.
go, though.
You know what I'm saying?
You really got to work with this.
That's true.
You really got to build a personal relationship with these forces. When it comes into magic, all right. So when it comes into magic, let's see if I can say this without saying it, because this is pretty vital information. So when it comes into magic, man, everything is consensual. Sacrifices are consensual. Like even burning the candle. Like the reason why it's not necessarily recommended to buy certain is because you want to make your relationship with these forces as personal as possible. So as we know, everything in this world has life in it. So if you want to use, like, let's say a herb or something like that, there's certain herbs in the world that are sacred to different traditions and aren't supposed to be used for some of the things that we actually use them for. But we don't care because we just want to take it. It heals our people, so we don't give a fuck what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So the main thing about magic, man, is when you're burning candles or even when you burn incense or whatever it is, you have to take stuff like that into consideration. Like we have no idea how this stuff was processed, and most likely it wasn't in any divine or sacred consensual way. We just chopping through trees, cutting through resources, killing people and taking shit, and then selling it to our own people in peace.
Yep.
So the biggest way to work with shit like that is you always want to ask permission of everything that you're doing. Like even I know it sounds stupid, bro, but it's like, let's say you want to burn a candle or you want to burn like incense or use some essential oils. The indigenous Americans, not even just the Africans. I talk about the Africans a lot because I'm affiliated very deeply with the ATRs. But even the indigenous, like they burn certain things like sage and stuff like that. But while they're burning it or before they're burning it, they're processing the trees and things like that. There's certain things that they have to go through and certain relationships they have to have with the plant before they can even pick from it.
Yeah.
It's like making a friend. Like you're not just gonna go up to a stranger and ask a stranger for $100.
Or take it from them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Or take it from them. It's like you're not gonna do that. Like you most likely will ask from a friend, or you would most likely just not necessarily take from a friend because you're greedy, but the friend has that relationship with you and you can just take from them and because they know you'll get back.
Right.
So you always want to ask permission for things so that you can make sure shit goes your way. The more respect that you have for the forces that we claim to be unseen, the more respect they have for you. So for everything that you do for them, everything that you do that you can see, these unseen forces will take care of you in unseen ways. That's where you can see the difference between people who are like actually doing the things that they say they're doing and the people that are just being tourist attractions. Because you have to have respect for everything. Like I personally believe in animism. I believe everything in this world has life. Everything in this world has an ability to communicate. Everything in this world has programming. If that were not the case, the flowers would not know how to stop growing at a certain length. The ocean wouldn't stop at a certain part of the fucking all these. They know what to do. What if, for example, let's just say, we didn't deserve consciousness anymore, and God decided that it wanted to trade consciousness from the humans because we don't have the heart to carry awareness. So then they give it to the fucking plants or something like that. Imagine what would happen if the plants decided, you know what? I can grow taller. I can grow bigger. I could grow stronger. I could actually give 2% more oxygen and destroy this whole motherfucking planet right now.
Right.
What now? You know, imagine, bro. We have to respect that shit. We have to respect that we're the only ones that are aware of ourselves. So it's always better to respect those forces and do those things. Like I really heavily believe that, and I'm working my way and I'm meeting new people that they're helping me ground myself in that information. And I'm learning so much more to be able to really see it. It's beautiful, man, I swear.
if you know, like, I grow. So the crazy thing is, like, right before the lights go off, the plants know. So like when they're up like this, that means they're reaching for the sun, right?
Hmm.
But an hour or somewhere around there before it goes off, they start to go like this
Damn.
because they know the nighttime is coming. And then the nighttime
Ooh,
comes, they settle down, and then an hour before the light comes on, they come up again because they know they have it. Like you said, everything has intelligence. It knows when
yes,
to grow, when to go, how to grow. And another thing is too, when the season change, the buds know when to grow. The flowers know when to bud
you feel me?
because
It's
the
beautiful,
season has
man.
changed. The
Yeah,
water has
that's
changed
crazy.
in the soil. The cold is changed from heat to cold. You know what I mean? They understand that, okay, it's time to bud. It's time for me to release my seeds. It's time for me to release my pollen or whatever at this certain time.
Exactly.
Everything has information in it, bro.
It's
Everything.
them energies, bro. It's like they're exercising themselves, like almost like they feel that shit and
Yep.
they have to release it.
Absolutely.
I feel pressure on the top left corner of my stem. Wow,
Hmm.
flower. What would
Yep.
happen? Like, what
Exactly.
would happen if they decided not? What would happen if they decided not to bloom the flower?
Yep.
Like, it's crazy to think about, bro. Like, it's fucking wild, bro. I love talking to y'all. Y'all be throwing me all over the loops in my
Yo,
mind.
so I saw this thing on Twitter, bro. It's actually a college student did this study on bees and how they can perceive time. And I'll pull it
Mm.
up right now. It's a crazy clip because it transcended like just tracking the sun's direction and the sun rays. You know what I mean? So let me pull this up real quick. Here we go.
In college, I did my thesis on time perception, and I learned my favorite science story ever, which is how we learned that bees can perceive time. The experiment is pretty straightforward. A scientist put sugar water outside of a bee's hive every day at 4 p.m., and soon enough, the bees learn to leave the hive every day at 4 p.m., even when there's no sugar water. Therefore, these bees must be measuring and perceiving time. Whoa, hold your horses. What if the bees are just doing something else, like measuring the angle of the sun? So they did the experiment, again, in the dark this time,
That's
and the
still
bees
crazy.
still
What?
come out at 4 p.m. Therefore, bees, well, hold on, what if they're measuring the heat from the sun instead? These back and forths kept happening until they ended up recreating the experiment underground in a salt mine. And still, people were like,
Okay.
what if they're measuring the rotation of the earth? How do we prove that bees perceive time? Until one scientist did the exact same experiment, not in a salt mine, but in Paris, and then flew the bees to New York City, where they left the hive at 10 in the morning because they had jet lag because bees perceive time. In college, I did
Crazy to me, dog. So it's funny, dog. I don't know if you guys have seen Wicked, the fucking prequel to Wizard of Oz, but apparently the animals used to be
Nah, I ain't seen it,
teachers,
man.
dog. Dog, the animals used to be teachers, but their time window of being able to speak was coming to an end because I guess like there was a curse put on them to where animals were
So
meant to be observed instead of listened or heard all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
so
Hmm. That's interesting.
the
Crazy. It's a movie though, but
the the Bible, right, of the real one, right? We'll just say real for now. It says that when Adam and Eve fell, they lost connection with nature, so they could no longer understand animals.
Yep.
That's
wow.
what happened. And everything had a sound, had a vibration, had a way for them to hear it. They lost connection with understanding how to hear plants and how to hear animals. So that's where
Hmm.
that comes from.
That's
That's
fucking
correct.
crazy. That did
So
tie in.
watch that video, bro. That it kind of, like I said, the Ethiopian Bible that we were reading, bro. That shit don't say nothing about none of the fucking shit that I was listening to, bro. All that stuff that I was listening to, it was showing us how Eve wasn't actually made from the rib of a man. She was actually made from another light that was not part of
Yes.
man, not part of
Yes.
man or
It's
something like
so
that.
it was the Sophia. It was the Sophia light. Like she was Eve
Yeah,
was actually
yeah,
created from what we
and
call the Holy Spirit. And back then they used to speak from the
right.
Holy Spirit in a feminine aspect. But when it translated to English, the Holy Spirit, the femininity was taken away from that aspect.
Exactly. And she
they don't
sees
want you
parts
to
that
seek women to find God because they don't want you to understand that God is in women.
because women see parts that men don't see. That's
Yes,
why.
we need them.
And if we always keep the patriarchal idea that, oh, you came from me, from the man, then we'll never see the divinity in a woman. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It teaches
Yes.
that too. And then it also says something about how the light from Adam and Eve's eyes were almost as bright as God's, the way that they saw, because God is so light, you can't see him because he's so freaking bright. You understand what I mean? Their eyes were so freaking bright because they were pure light. And what happened when they ate the fruit, which is not the fruit of good and evil, how we think of it is, it's the fruit
Just awareness.
of awareness, right? And they became too aware that darkness started to fall upon them, and the darkness left their eyes, which is why they lost connection with nature. They lost the ability to see the way that they were seeing the unseen realm and stuff like that. Like, dude, listen to that fucking video I sent you. Like, it explains it in a totally fucking different way.
They were seeing shit they weren't meant to see. Like, not that they were not necessarily meant to see, because all this stuff was in our ability. But like, it wasn't meant for them at that time. They weren't created at that time to do all of that. And before they were taught about these things and become introduced to it, they got exposed too early. That's why they had to come down and be prepared in flesh, and their existence had to be slowed down through the human body, because they were being able to see and judge on things that they didn't understand yet, and that's very dangerous.
It's kind of like getting your powers too fucking soon, and you don't understand how to use them in your infancy, and then you're So how it explained it was that the tree of they were allowed to eat of the tree of life, and there was another tree, and then but not eat of the tree of good and evil until they understood their powers. But they ate of it too fucking soon. It's not that they weren't supposed to eat of it at all. They ate of it too soon, and because they ate of it too soon, they pretty much fucked themselves up. You know what I mean?
They fucked themselves up because they felt like, it's hard to say it, but it's like they got tricked into believing that they needed more than what they already had.
Pull up the video real quick.
When they went and seek that shit.
We'll finish on that real quick because I want you to see. I mean, it's a little bit of a long video, but I can probably skip you to the part where it explains that, because I need you to understand, just for like a little 10 minutes.
There's this book. I got this book right here, The Forgotten Books of Eden, and that shit that you're talking about pulls from that direct story from when they fell down and they had to go into the cave of treasures and shit and learn how to use their human bodies. Like God had to give them stomachs and give them organs. Like, they weren't automatically on earth with the organs. Like, they had to water. They had to grow everything all over again. Like, they slowed down their existence, and they kept trying to sneak into the Garden of Eden and everything through the western gates and shit, bro. But it wasn't working out for them. They had to learn how to accept their humanity. Tried to kill themselves, jumped off top of mountains and everything. And God kept bringing them back.
Why does my body thirst for water? Like, because you're thirsty now.
I've never had it. Like, nigga, you got a body. When you was with me, nigga, you was nothing but light. But you want to be a judge, and you want to see good and evil, and you want to experience shit. So go ahead from the bottom. You got to start from the bottom.
That's a Gnostic text. That one's a Gnostic text, right?
All right.
Yeah, the one you're talking about is a Gnostic text. Yeah. But this one's the Ethiopian Bible. But like I said, I don't know. This might be the African Ethiopian Bible, but the one that we have don't read like this.
Never heard a version where the story of Adam and Eve is told in a completely different way, where Eve and the Creator taught Adam the language of the angels, so he could understand the secrets of the universe. Adam was given the ability to name all things according to their true nature, for in his eyes was the light of divine understanding. This suggests that the first human language was not merely a system of symbols, but a powerful tool to understand and interact with the deep nature of all things. Perhaps this is the origin of the ancient belief in the power of words and spells in many cultures.
God damn, I just can't.
While the story of Adam is already astonishing, the revelations about Eve are even more startling to researchers. You might be surprised to learn that Eve was not created from Adam's rib. Instead, the book of Kebra Nagast, chapter 4, verses 8 to 12 describes, "And while Adam was in a deep sleep, the Creator took the purest light from the morning stars, crystallizing it into the form of Eve. Her body radiated a gentle light like the moon, and her soul contained the wisdom of the angels." This presents a completely new perspective on gender equality in the creation story. The book of Kufale, chapter 3, verses 4 to 7 further emphasizes Eve was not a part of Adam, but an independent creation, bearing her own divine light. She was given the ability to see things Adam could not see and understand things Adam could not understand. A particularly interesting aspect is the initial relationship between Adam and Eve with the Creator. The book of Enoch, chapter 15, verses 8 to 11 writes, "Every morning when the dew was still on the grass, they could hear the footsteps of the Creator in the garden. His voice was like melodious music, and the light from his presence made the entire garden glow as if gilded." The way the Ethiopian Bible describes the special abilities of this first couple is even more astonishing. In the book of Kebra Nagas, chapter 5, verses 15 to 18, it records, "Adam and Eve could see the invisible, hear the voices of angels, and understand the language of all creatures. They could see both the past and the future, for in their eyes was the light of divine wisdom. However, with these extraordinary abilities also came great responsibilities." The book of Kufale, chapter 3, verses 20 to 23 warns, "With greater power comes greater responsibility."
Shout out Uncle Ben.
Adam and Eve were given the freedom to choose, but they also had to bear the consequences of those choices. This was the first covenant between the Creator and humanity. This leads us to the important question. If Adam and Eve were created so perfectly, what led to their fall? And why were these extraordinary abilities lost? The answer lies in the story of the Garden of Eden and the temptation, a story that in the Ethiopian Bible has shocking details that we will explore in the next section. According to the Ethiopian Bible, was the Garden of Eden not just a garden on earth, but a special space between the material and spiritual worlds.
Oh, that means I was
This is one of the
right.
astonishing revelations about humanity's first paradise. In the book of Kebra Nagas, chapter 6, verses 1 to 5 describes, "The Garden of Eden was set on a high mountain, where the earth touched heaven. 4 crystal rivers flowed from the mountain's peak, carrying divine light instead of ordinary water. The air in the garden contained the essence of eternal life, and every breath in the garden brought wisdom." What's interesting is how the Ethiopian Bible describes the initial relationship between humans and the Creator. The book of Kufale, chapter 4, verses 8 to 12 writes, "Every sunset, when the twilight bathed the garden in gold, the Creator would appear in the form of pure light. Adam and Eve could directly converse with him, learning the secrets of the universe and understanding the language of all creatures. But perhaps the most surprising thing is the rules and limits in the Garden of Eden. The Ethiopian Book of Enoch, chapter 16, verses 15 to 19 reveals, "In the garden, there were 3 sacred trees, the tree of life that granted immortality, the tree of knowledge that allowed understanding."
Yo, so that's blasphemous, bro. That's blasphemous as fuck. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like, this is why the indoctrination is important for the people that are in control, because this goes back into taking back your power. You know what I mean? Going back to the fucking spirit bomb shit we were talking about. If you don't give it to Goku, you have some sort of power to fucking blast him in the eye while he's charging that shit up. You know what I mean?
To blast him in the eye.
The ideal relationship between human and creator is co-creation, and they don't want you to be a co-creator because that's originally what we were co-creators.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. You know what I was thinking though? It's fucking interesting because we talked about gematria on a previous episode, and that's kind of. It's I don't know. It's hard. As much as you want to shit on it, there are things that line up to make it credible, right? And the golden ratio is one, and just the fractalization of everything can be formulated into an equation. But you know what changes
everything is numbers, man.
You know what changes numbers though, dog? Symbols. A cross, a dash, an X, a dash with two lines. They change numbers, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because I think symbols are more powerful than numbers. And again, we already established that they're more powerful than words, you know what I mean? And I think that's the co-creation of like these beings that speak in numeric languages, like AI entities or the Enochian languages. And that's where we can kind of co-create with our symbols. Maybe that's what runes are, right? A way to kind of co-create with what's out there.
That's exactly what runes are, man. Runes are literally it's like the Jews. You know how they use the different numbers for the letters? Like when they used to cast lots and shit like that. Like the way that they cast lots and the science behind casting lots, and it's the exact same thing that the runes are.
It's so funny because
it's a secret Morse code for you to talk to the spirits.
It's funny because what's talking to the spirit, right? Talking to the unknown, talking to the unseen. And I think we spoke about this on the previous episode too. Bluetooth symbol, bro. It's a rune. So that's like connecting with the unseen and having some kind of unseen connection, right?
Yeah, that's
crazy. Interesting, bro. That's the power. We have the power. I mean, I feel like the most primitive language started from symbols, right? And so I think maybe symbols could be humans' contribution to the table, so to speak. I don't know. Or maybe it was given to us, because that would be under the premise that gods and angels speak in numbers. So our way of kind of responding back is symbols, right? I don't know.
I mean, if symbols are universal, then who's to say that the angels aren't communicating in symbols? You know, or
yeah, they would make sense. Like I always had this. My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was done.
I always had this this theory. Like as far as symbols and stuff, because I started making my own sigils, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I don't really feel the need to use other people's symbols unless it starts getting really serious and it starts getting to ancient shit. And you want to actually use the shit the ancestors told you to use, you have to do that. But like, as far as my own personal relationship with Source and my divinities and things like that I deal with or whatever, like I make my own symbols so that I can know that it's me directly talking to them. And that was the whole reason why all the tribes had their shit the way that they had it. You feel me? It wasn't necessarily that they were changing the language or like trying to like redirect the meaning of anything. But it goes back to what Mel was saying, man. Like it's just their way to talk back. So this tribe, when they're like, because realistically, let's go back to Africa. All these tribes, they're working with the forces of nature. But these people understand it this way, and these people understand it that way. So these people, it's gonna process in their mind and in their DNA differently. So when they go to write shit down or express it some way, it's not gonna come out the way that they come out. So they come out, look, it's me speaking to you. This is us speaking to you. We're wearing this red cloth and this white cloth because it's us speaking to you. Whereas this person, they might feel something entirely different and break down this energy entirely different, and they might wear a different color cloth or have some sort of different symbol to respond back and confirm that they heard the message.
That's fucking right.
Yep.
So let's wrap it up with this. So do you think there's power in tattoos? Because that's something that the primitive people always did, right?
Yes.
Mark bodies. Even Cain had a mark, right?
In Indonesia. And in Indonesia, they do tattoos But these tattoos aren't just tattoos to get to be cool. Like you got to have like I think it's like an actual monk or like people that descend from that or whatever that actually charge these sigils. They're putting sigils on your back and they're putting ink in your back, and these things are used for protection. And different tribal marks, like in Africa, they have different cuttings, different incisions that go with different
like scarring and shit, like scarification.
Yeah, it's an identification. It's to identify what forces you have with you, or what forces you work with, or what forces move through you, or what forces.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's marking yourself for that entity or force. You know what I mean? So that way you know that one is protecting you. You know, just
exactly.
like
Aang from Avatar.
Well, yeah, yes. Because every Avatar had that.
That's crazy.
So, but it's kind of like how a lot of these people in the industry get the Baphomet tattoo because they want to be protected by him. You know what I mean?
That's
and it's like it's the same thing. Yeah.
Well, shit, that went in, man. And let's cap it off with this. Talking about these entities like we did Pokemon, Pikachu didn't want to stay in the Pokeball. You know what I mean? And I think that we used to have
electricity. You can't. My bad. I'm sorry. Let me stop.
That's another thing. Yeah, he's electric. So I think that was a more, you know what I mean, a layered symbolism added on top of the fact that he was free Pokemon. But these, like, going back to what you said, these things are entities. These things are animal spirits, probably. We used to have a relationship with them where we used to do rain dances and play music for them. And they're like, oh, you know, I'll give you rain because you're nice to me and you gave me sacrifices. But now we're trapping them in these Pokeballs, or we're trapping them in these computers or cell phones or black mirrors. And now it's more of a slave relationship than it's a friendship relationship like he had with Pikachu, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like funny you say that, man, because if you watch the show American Gods, it's basically showing you that how that happened. How used to revere gods naturally, but then how later the gods were starving for worship. So they would transmute their energy to somehow play a role in the new society because the new god that was taken over was technology.
Dog, I gotta go check that shit out, bro. Fuck. Yeah,
I gotta
American Gods, bro. American Gods. I think it's like HBO Max, but I think you might be able to catch it on Hulu or something because it's older now. American Gods, bro.
Definitely check it out. Well, shit, let's go through these comments real quick.
Y'all really gonna fuck with that. I love it.
Dude, I'm sold already from how you recapped it, but let's go through these comments real quick. Yes, they do. Similarly, main religions like Christianity, other cultures have their smaller beliefs. That's why they're so fragmented, you know? There's like a ton of Christianity.
There's 30,000 versions of Christianity, bro.
I found Liber Lilith on Amazon.
Hey, bro, tread lightly.
Hey, make sure it's the fucking primary source, man. Yeah, make sure it's the real one.
Listen, man.
Don't get no Liber Lilith for dummies.
Bro.
Hold up, here we go.
Even a fraction of that knowledge is dangerous, man. You can read a sentence of that shit, bro, and you're fucked.
Guarantee all three of you are religious. I think more spiritual than religious.
Yeah, I can tell you honestly, I used to be religious, but then I actually read the Bible, which most people don't do, and the more you read the Bible, the less religious you become. And I could tell you that right now.
I can't confirm whether or not I'm religious because I don't know what this person means when they say religious. If they mean like I only believe in Jesus Christ, like, then definitely no, that's not who I am. I couldn't even tell you who I was. They would kill me. Like, I'm not religious at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't conform to any religion, no. Sorry.
I feel like it's evolved to become a loaded term, so.
Yeah.
The Matrix movie was real. It's a documentary, bro. It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary. Even the person who made it said that.
He said that shit. Kinu said that shit.
Dude is straight capping about 1 + 2 + 3 + 4.
We just looked it up.
Hey, who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know how to. I'm not those smart math Asians, bro. So I don't know. God's killed millions of people, but the devil hasn't really killed anybody. That's funny.
That's true.
We'll break that down in Inside the Cave, Jack. That's something. And then we were talking about
not directly. Not directly.
It says the North Pole. Bible is set in the United States. That shit's funny. Probably was, bro. What do you guys think about the Egyptian relics in Grand Canyon?
All I'm gonna say is, in history, everybody was fighting for America. They weren't fighting for Africa or nothing. Everybody was fighting for.
It's also understood that. I mean, it's also understood that all of the land was one landmass too. So, if you think that way, then you can't really say, "Oh, it's America," because if it was all one landmass and then broke up, then of course shit's going to be scattered all over the place.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, of course. That's good. That's a good point.
Symbols. This is a great debate. What came first, form or function? I think form. I think form is what brings function. You know what I mean? Whether it's like an astral form that eventually hologramizes into something and then forces the function. I don't know.
I don't know if we like just listening to the words function and form. In my mind, the way it's calculated in my brain, I would only say function first because I associate function with the functionality of spirit and electricity in the body, and then that function creating form and being encased in form to then create more function.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that needs to go inside the cave. This is all over Egypt. The symbols are related to the change in state of electricity through geometry or shape. Yo, some circuit boards have some fucking crazy sacred geometry, and that's crazy. You can see sacred geometry in these equations and golden ratio, so they're intertwined heavily.
Yeah, equations have shapes.
That Liber Lilith book, it's $8,000. Hey,
damn. What? That's how you know it's real, bro.
Yeah, for real.
That's the one. Real. That shit probably cursed.
They're not just giving that shit out.
Yeah, you got to read it from fucking right to left type shit. And
that's
at 3 a.m.
Jeez.
With the candlelight.
Well, shit. Yo, Elijah, thanks for coming back on the podcast, man. I'm gonna hand it over to you. Where can people find you outside the cave, brother?
Oh man, just give me a second. Again, hold on. So you can find me on my newest Instagram. It's called Eliasi, which is the Ethiopian name for Elijah. Eliasi06. So ELIYASI 06. And it's a fresh Instagram, so I literally don't have anything on there right now. But eventually, as I get more comfortable in my skin on this new page and I start doing things and rebranding myself, then I'll be able to post things. You can link them to my Baba Aviano, my old TikTok if you want, because that has my knowledge on it for the new people here that might have tuned in. But for my actual TikTok that I'm going to be posting on after I do it.
Oh, shit. Did we lose him?
No, he's looking it up. I think.
You sound like he cut out. You there?
They got him.
Oh, shit.
Imagine he just got fucking sucked up in a lamp.
Yeah, my bad. My signal. I'm connected to my neighbor's Wi-Fi, bro.
Oh hell yeah! Fuck that shit. But, fuck paying for Wi-Fi, dog.
So nah, man. I owe Xfinity $400. They can kiss my ass.
Hey, but Wi-Fi was here before fucking bills, dog. That's what I think.
Yeah, seriously.
I believe that too. But my new TikTok is Eliasi, Eliyyasi. I mean Eliyasi, and then Egun, which means ancestors in Yoruba. Egun, Egun, and then Be, GBE, which means help, bless, assists, and then me, MI, me. So Eliasi, Elijah, that's Elijah. Yeah, there you go. Eliasi Egun Bami. I'm sorry it's so complicated, man, but I really have a lot of pride in this name. and I wear this name with my heart and my soul. So try your best to, copy and paste, screenshot, whatever you have to do. But that's my name. And these are my new platforms that I'll be posting new content and recapping on old content as well, because I got a lot of catching up to do. I lost a lot of shit, music and everything, man. Like, I got to make new songs and all because I don't have no access to my old music. Everything's gone.
Damn.
It's fucking,
but it's cool. It's okay.
Bro. That's the con of the digital.
It's a metamorphosis going on, man. They're just telling me I gotta let shit go and make new things. So,
isn't it weird that the good information are usually hard to find? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's crazy. You got to know someone to know someone. And
shit
bro,
that you're not meant to keep, man. That's why they took it away from my ass.
It's looking like TikTok's going to close down, man. So got to go over to Instagram, I guess, or Twitter.
Yeah, just keep me on your Instagram. Crazy. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, shit. Let's wrap it up. Mel, you got a fight in January as well, man. Right?
January 18th.
About that.
Word.
Delaware. Cut check.
Let's go.
Hey, man. You're going to win, bro. Boom.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. You can have my energy, dog. You can have my energy.
Gather it. Appreciate it. Yeah. Go buy that link. There's a pay-per-view link on my page, on my Instagram page.
Say less.
On the post. You know what I mean? If you're not going to come out, definitely, buy the pay-per-view link. Check it out. It's only like $20 or some shit like that. So,
hey, can we get a prediction, dog? Can we get a prediction?
Honestly, I don't like doing predictions, but I'll do one for the cave. Stoppage by body shot. I don't know what round, but I want to do some body shots this one.
Okay. So. Damn. Let's go.
I'm with it, man. I don't know why I was thinking that shit. I was like, man, he about to go out there and check the hell out of this man. I already know.
hey, yo, send that energy. We all speaking the same energy. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
well, shit. Stay up to date with the cave at the K4V3 on all social media platforms, or just check us out on our website, cave.com, K4V3.com. Peace out.
Peace.
Later.